All right, everyone. I just want to start off by thanking all the patrons that support this show. If you are interested in getting involved in supporting the show financially, you can go to patreon.com/bigtruth and you will see 4 different levels of patronage there that you can sign on to. Everyone that listens and subscribes, I appreciate you. And the patrons, I appreciate even more because you're kicking in and it's really helping be able to cover the hosting and the website hosting and the equipment and shit. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I am very grateful for all of you. If you got a fucking swampy scrotum, you know what you got to do. If you haven't already, get over to manscaped.com and pick up a Lawnmower 3.0, which is basically a ball and dingus razor that will not cut you or scratch you or burn you or give you a fucking rash or anything like that, because it's scientifically researched and designed with these special ceramic blades that are nick, cut, and abrasion resistant. So you can go away with reckless abandon down there and clean up that fucking swamp. They also have all kinds of other products. They got a nose hair trimmer and razors and ball products, for ball health, like elixirs and botanicals to keep them toned up and fresh and deodorized, and anti-chafing creams for when the swampy, humid weather comes pretty soon. So check them out, manscaped.com. If you use the promo code BIGTRUTH at checkout, you will get 20% off your order. So head over to manscaped.com. At checkout, put Big Truth in the promo code box and you'll get 20% off your order and free shipping on top of that. And if you're looking for motorcycle parts for your Harley or Brit bike, or especially a Japanese bike, if you got an old Japanese motorcycle, you need to head over to oldbikebarn.com. They got all kinds of parts and wares and apparel and riding gear and shit. Anything you need to be on the road, you need to check them out. Oldbikebarn.com. They got everything. They even have shit in sections where if you're building a cafe racer, they got a cafe racer specific section or a chopper specific section and things like that. So go over there. You can fucking tool around for hours and find all kinds of rad shit. Oldbikebarn.com, on Instagram at oldbikebarn. Now, if you find yourself in the unfortunate position to be in a motorcycle accident, you need to reach out to the motherfuckers at lawtigers.com, because they are motorcycle riders and they started a law firm to represent motorcycle riders who've been in accidents. And we all know shit's getting crazy on the road with all kinds of distracted drivers and people trying to put their fucking COVID masks on and fucking whatever they're trying to do, and they're reading shit and texting and being fucking retards on the road. So check out lawtigers.com. If you are in the unfortunate situation where you find yourself in a motorcycle accident. I hope you never have to use that sponsor, but they're good. And you can go on Facebook and type in Law Tigers plus your state, and you will get in contact with the local office. So here in Massachusetts, go on Facebook and search Law Tigers Massachusetts, and then you can get in touch with the local office. If you live in Wyoming, type in Law Tigers Wyoming, just follow that example for whatever state you live in. If you're into serial killers, like occult shit, fucking vans, choppers, stoner music, doom music, heavy metal, that type of shit, you need to check out my man Zach. Has a clothing company called Heavy, and you can check them out at heavy.bigcartel.com or on Instagram at Heavy Clothing. All kinds of wares and antisocial goods for you connoisseurs that are into that stuff. Check them out. Omerta Mia. I say it every time, probably the best lifestyle brand out there, man. They represent old school ethics of just basic code shit, man. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, get over there and check it out, and you will soon understand what I'm saying. So omertamia.com, whether you need a hoodie, scarf, t-shirt, jacket, socks, whatever, man, they got all kinds of rad shit. They always have all kinds of deals going on. Make sure you get on their mailing list because they do like huge deals all the time. But yeah, check them out. omertamia.com, on Instagram, Facebook, all that at omertamia. And if you use the promo code BIGTRUTH at checkout, guess what? You're gonna get 20% off there too. So don't slouch. That's a good savings, man. You can get 20% more shit for the same cost of what you were originally going to spend. You know, it's pretty fucking good, right? And if you're into punk, hardcore metal and stuff, you should check out pitchforkny.com. They're a clothing company that's been a staple in those music industries for well over a decade and a half. And they also have a record label where they do split 7 inches that are limited colorway 7 inches with a East Coast band on one side and a West Coast band on another. You know, past acts include Sick of It All, Rancid, Murphy's Law, Count Time, Sworn Enemy, all kinds of shit on there. Thug Riot. You need to check it out. Pitchforkny.com, Instagram, pitchforkny. Chop Cult. If you are into motobiking and choppers and riding motorcycles and basically anything motorcycle related, you need to check out chopcult.com. They are the biggest information clearinghouse on motorcycle shit out there. They got an online message board that's huge, massive community, tons of members, tons of active forums, broken up by topics. So whatever you're looking for, you can find. They also have an online swap meet where you can buy, sell, and trade parts. They have an events page where you can find out about motorcycle related events all across the world, broken up by date and region and state or whatever you need to find it. You know, they do newsletters, all kinds of shit. You just need to get active and get involved. And membership is absolutely free. Costs you the big donut. You don't got to give them a credit card or any weird shit like that. So just go to chopcult.com. If you're not already a member, go sign up because it ain't going to cost you nothing. And there's you know, there's a world of resources out there for you in regards to motorcycling. So check it out. If you need motorcycle parts or you need some service or you need a bike built, check out my shop, chopahead.com. Or if you need some parts or if you need some swag or apparel or riding gear, you can check I'm broadcasting live from the shop, and my guest Johannes just walked in, so he's interrupting the commercials, but it's all right. He has a brand new mystery bag of nips that I'm looking at in a brown bag. But yeah, so check out chopahead.com, on Instagram at chopahead, Facebook, chopahead customs with a K. Give us a follow. If there's something you need that you don't see on the website, because I have to find someone that can help me really get that website up to date with a bunch of new products. Just give us a call because we're set up with pretty much everybody so we can get you whatever you need. And last but not least, just check out bigtruthpodcast.com for more information on the podcast. All the episodes are up there. And wherever you're listening to this, we're on every major platform, whether it's your Apple phone, the podcast app, or Android, or Spotify, YouTube, wherever. Do me a big favor, hit like, give it a rating, give it a review, and share it with all your friends and family and neighbors and whoever you think might be remotely interested in this shit. All right, and enough of rambling here. We're going to get into today's episode right now.
Sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have a liftoff.
Boom! Once again, we got liftoff. I got to thank you for tuning in to this 50th episode of the Big Truth Podcast. And as a special kind of, I don't know, roundabout 360-degree thing, I brought my buddy Johannes back for, he was actually the first guest I had back in February 9th of last year. So we're a little over a year into the podcast, and like I said, 50 episodes. Didn't know that it was going to get this far, and stoked that it has, and want to thank everybody for listening and supporting and coming along for the ride and pushing it out there to people. But yeah, so just kind of as to kind of celebrate and pay respects to that, I brought Johannes back. You might know him as the Fresian Prince.
The Black Stallion.
The Black Stallion.
The Gold member.
Gold member 617. Or no, 617 gold member.
That's it, yeah.
He's Dutch and he fucking likes gold. Isn't that
I'm Fresian.
Fresian. Sorry, I forgot. I forget the basic. I forget the etiquette of it. Well, Fresia is a territory of.
It's like a province.
A province, yeah.
Province.
I don't want to say territory. It sounds like sounds a little.
Or territorial.
Yeah. It's a province of the Netherlands. It's its own region. A region.
Exactly. Everything will get a lot easier to remember once we get into the nib bag again.
Yes. And to bring it back, we brought back the mystery bag of nips, which we debuted on the first episode. Well, it's actually technically the second episode. The first episode was just kind of me giving a rundown of what we were going to do. But the first guest, like the first real kickoff episode, was with Johannes back February 9th of 2020. And we introduced the mystery bag of nips. If you don't know what that is, it's a brown paper bag filled with random nips. And at certain points in the podcast, we're going to have to reach in and grab one and drink whatever it is. Now, there's some things that you might like. There's some things that you might not like, but you have to leave it to fate, and whatever you pull, you got to pull.
That's what you got to drink.
That's right.
We might have actually touched base on this last time, but I believe that nips is like a New England thing because not everybody knows what nips are.
Okay,
they
so
call them airplane bottles, right?
Airplane bottles, shooters, basically the little shot-sized things of hard alcohol.
There you go.
And, you know, we got some McGillicuddies, we got some Fireball, we got some Rumplemints.
We got the ones we got the ones that you didn't like.
No, I don't like. I'm not a girly rum guy.
Yeah.
He's holding like a teal.
Because McGillicuddies is so manly, right?
I know. But no, just like, no, you know what it is? I just can't do pineapple shit. So it's like, and those all have pineapple.
So no pineapple on your pizza?
Oh, fuck no. All right, let's get this. Let's start this. Let's get right into it then. This is a debate going on, a debate of the centuries. Hawaiian pizza, pineapple. No, I don't care about the pork part. Whatever. You know, people like bacon or ham or whatever on their pizza. That's fine. Pineapple on pizza. I mean, even though I have I don't know, for lack of a better word, sensitivity to the acidicness of pineapple, and I just fucking hate the taste of pineapple. Even that aside, I do not see that being something that is good. But I have people that are. It's funny because nothing. The only thing more divisive, the only thing more divisive than pineapple on pizza is Democrat and Republicans in the United States. Like, it's the only thing more divided is because the fucking people are either staunchly against pineapple on pizza or staunchly for it.
I'm for it. I like it.
But you're European, dude.
Well, that's true. Being like, Hawaiian pizza, being like Hawaii, pineapple, it got to go on there, you know?
I know there's people from Hawaii listening. You guys got to chime in. And do you guys claim that, or are you guys vehemently against that? Like, we need to know. Just shoot me an email at bigtruthpodcast@gmail.com. And if you're not from Hawaii, don't chime in and be a dick on this.
Yep.
I just want to hear from the Hawaiians whether they claim pineapple and ham pizza as Hawaiian or not. And if it was really Hawaiian, it would be Spam and not ham.
I never had Spam.
Those motherfuckers love them.
That's like
ham
in a can, right? Spam.
Yeah.
Never had Spam.
It's like a gelatinous fucking jelly fucking ham thing.
Yeah,
and,
no.
I haven't had it since I was a kid, but I know out there it's a big thing. But so. And I wasn't discounting you because you're Fresian, but tell me why you're for pineapple on pizza.
It tastes good. It's not too bad. It actually has a little bit of that sweetness to it. I don't care. I like pizza regardless.
Yeah.
The other day I had pizza. It was hummus and kale. And I'd rather have pizza with pineapple than a hummus and kale pizza.
I'm probably with you on that.
Not good.
Yeah, why you eating?
Not good.
Why you eating fucking hippie pizza, dude?
That's right. Smoke some weed and try some new shit out. You know, I'm trying to broaden my mind as like a 42-year-old.
Yeah.
You know,
we should just put shrooms on it, dude, and fucking psilocybin pizza. Then if you're trying to do that, not fucking kale and fucking hummus and fucking.
Oh shit! I thought I was like a couscous crust, like
yeah.
couscous kale hummus pizza.
Ugh, fucking horrible, dude. It goes against everything pizza stands for, I think.
I'm gonna do my first grab just because of that.
I think 6 minutes in we're due.
Oh man! All right, butterscotch.
Oh, I pulled the Fireball.
You got the Fireball. All right.
All right.
We got to start good. Cheers, guys. Yo, these are like really taste like those candies that like grandparents give you.
The butterscotch candies.
Oh, well, yeah. There you go. Butterscotch candy.
That's the name, butterscotch McGillicuddies. I haven't had one of those yet. I started off with the Fireball. And they'll taste like the little cinnamon candies that used to be in the candy dish at your grandmother's house in the red clear wrapper.
We used to have like candies. I remember like when I was going to school, like we would stop at a candy store and we would get Fireball, like it was like almost like gumballs.
Yeah, it was a hard red ball. Yeah,
yeah, and you would just like suck
something.
on it and then like you'd get different colors and it would like fucking like be really spicy. Or for me, it was spicy.
So you're saying you suck on hot
like,
spicy balls? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
Hey,
I was just watching you. I was just digging the ditch as you were saying.
being like I dig myself in deeper and deeper here.
And so what Johannes is basically saying to recap is that he likes hot spicy balls in his mouth.
Yep, and pineapple
He
and
likes
pizza.
to suck on hot spicy balls.
What's up?
I mean, those things pretty much, that's a good correlation. I know I'm pissing so many people off that like pineapple on pizza. Look, this is a joke, tongue in cheek. Like, I don't really give a shit. If you like pineapple on pizza, fucking go ahead. If you like chapelinas, which they do in
What?
Chapelinas are grasshoppers. When I lived in Oaxaca,
What is a grasshopper? Is that like the ones that like make the little sound?
cricket?
It's like a
That's
cricket.
what you're talking.
Yeah.
They get the long legs. They jump.
No, you don't put that on pizza, man.
In
Come on.
Mexico, they do. In Oaxaca, Mexico, it's called chapelinas. They dry them out and they spice them, so they're really spicy. You don't even taste it. It just tastes like spice, but it's a protein for
Next
people
time
down
we're
there.
in Mexico for like some like gold teeth, we'll try it out.
Yeah, well, that's Oaxaca. I don't know if Mexico City got the chapelinas, but feel free to people to write in what the weirdest pizza topping you have had is. For me, it is chapelinas, and
especially-
it didn't taste bad.
And it would be interesting to know like from like what region you're from too.
Yeah, where you had it. Write in what's the weirdest shit you had for a pizza topping and where you had it.
Because I'm gonna look up like what's on the North Shore of Massachusetts. What's like the weirdest freaking pizza that they
Well,
do
I've
there.
seen like bacon and scallop pizza, which would be something that's to this region.
Yeah, that's I still go for pineapple on my pizza before bacon and scallops as well.
No, but I'm just talking about regional shit.
Regional.
That would be a regional thing. The Hawaiian pizza is all over the place for whatever fucking
Why?
God knows reason. But scallops are a thing that are local to New England. And I'm sure other parts other parts of the ocean. But yeah, like scallops are a big thing up here. So you can find places that have like scallop and bacon pizza.
Shit, next round table, we got to make it like a pizza round table.
I know this is already turning into a fucking round table because we're just reviewing dumb shit.
We're just like hungry now all of a sudden. I'm like,
I'm not, dude.
like
Fucking
big-
pineapple pizza and fucking scallop pizza is making me not hungry. But anyway, that's just an aside. Let me ask you a serious question. Getting back to the Frisian thing, like there are parts of like Texas always jokes about. And it's, well, sometimes jokes, but sometimes it's serious about seceding from the United States, or like Maine wants to give Southern Maine to Massachusetts and stuff. Now, do the Frisians want to pull out of the Netherlands, or do they want their own autonomous state, or is there like Frisian separatists?
Yes, there are.
Okay.
I think that it's not like a serious thing to anybody from Frisian listening. If you are serious, I'm sorry for that, but
I just
don't
kind of got the
think it's
vibe
like a
that,
serious,
that Frisia has its own pride.
Yeah, we're our own pride. We have our own flag. We have our own like national anthem and all of that. We're proud, but like,
Can you sing the Frisian
No, but
national anthem?
I probably could.
All right, here's an exclusive, motherfuckers. I've never heard it. Let's.
Fries bloed your hope will notice bruise and see. I'm gonna fuck it up. So.
I think your passport's getting revoked right now.
Well, yeah,
your
that's
Frisian
true.
passport's
It's
getting
like
revoked.
being like, that's like where the Frisian language being like, what are we actually singing about?
Now, wait, is your passport like Frisian or is it
No, it's a
Netherlands?
Dutch frac.
Dutch. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a Dutch passport. We don't have, although you can get like a Frisian passport for a joke, but you couldn't like travel anywhere with it. you
Okay,
know?
yeah, it's just
yeah,
for its.
It's just, you just get a Frisian passport if you want one. You buy it at like a souvenir store or something like that, but yeah, no.
All right. Well, a free Chopperhead grab bag to the first person that sends a Frisian passport in to Chopperhead, 13 County Road, East Freetown, Massachusetts,
Well, I told you
02717.
Next time I can go finally back home. I was gonna like bring some Frisian like liquor with me. I'm just gonna like get like some Frisian passports as well, with just like make you an honorary Frisian.
Yeah. So now, for real, this is a funny thing that's happened on the podcast, and I don't know what it is, but like I'm not one of those people that track like statistics and shit, like or the statistics of the podcast too much. But when you came on, obviously there was a big boost in the Netherlands, and like so. As far as like countries listening to this podcast, like obviously United States was number one at that time. I think, like 2 and 3 and 4 kind of all go between what you would think, like the English speaking countries like UK, and Australia and Canada. Well, actually Australia is a little bit further down, but Fresia, Netherlands was coming in as strong because you have like a Dutch following, and I know you told your homeboys and family back there. But since then, I don't know what the fuck happened. I think I got on some podcast network or something or some app. India is now number 2. So shout out to all my Indian motherfuckers out there that are listening to this podcast. And I hope you understand the humor and I don't know what you're listening to. But it's like United States is number 1. Number 2 is like strong India. Like, I'm like, what the fuck just happened? But I think I was talking to Bear about this from Old Bike Barn, and there's just there's a big motorcycle culture in India. Like, most people ride motorcycles. But
I did not know that.
Yeah, so I don't know where we came up, but shout out to all the motherfuckers in India that are listening to this.
We used to have like a really large following in Indonesia with my band, with the Spirit 84, because one of our guitar players was adopted from Indonesia, and like it's like a really large following somehow there. Like
there's a big with Chopperhead too. We get a big I noticed there's a big chopper kind of subculture in Indonesia. We'll get orders from Indonesia. We also get a lot of motherfuckers with like fake fraudulent orders from Indonesia. Fucking cut that shit out. I'm a small business, you motherfuckers, and I see you're red flagged if you try and fucking order, and it throws up red flags. Like we got kind of advanced technology, so don't try and fuck me. That's fucked up. But yeah, we do have a lot of people hitting us up from Indonesia, and the dude that drew the American War Machine record is an Indonesian dude.
Dude, that record is like awesome. That cover artwork is amazing.
Yeah, man. And yeah, shout out, man. He that dude fucking rules, man. He's fucking nasty.
So we just got to see now to get Fresia back on number 2, basically on the podcast.
That's what I'm saying.
Listeners. So Friesland people, luisteren. Alle keer luisteren naar deze podcast. Er is heel veel goed ding te luisteren.
I hear clogs clacking all over the fucking country right now. The clogs, they are clacking.
Yeah. Well, if we can have every Frisian person listen to it, we might get to like the second place again. Who knows?
Yeah, we need to fucking move the Netherlands back up. It's weird, man. I should next time I should log in just because I didn't know the reach this thing would have, and it just makes me laugh sometimes. I'm looking in it and I'm like, who the fuck is listening to this in the fucking, in Saudi Arabia and shit? But there's motherfuckers listening to this shit in Saudi Arabia. I'm like,
well, I had a lot of like good feedback too. Like when we did the first ones, it's like obviously I have a following, and I'm really like tight with like a lot of like people from back home still, like from the Netherlands and from Friesland. I love to like go there, and it's just like nice to see that people like want to follow you, want to follow like what you're up to, what you're like working on. That's obviously where social media is like a really good thing. I'm stressed out and I'm like over social media at times, but it has a lot of like positive things too, to where actually like you have a large reach where people can just like follow you and follow what I'm doing and being interested in these kind of things and podcasts, being interested in what I have to say. And I'm like, yo, I don't have that much to say, but thanks for listening anyway, I guess,
Yeah, no, but we came out with a bang on that one. That was a well listened to podcast. We came right out of the gate in the top 20% of all podcasts. I was like, what the fuck, dude? This dumb shit, but hey,
going for gold.
Going for gold, man. So am I saying it wrong? It's not Fresia, it's Friesland. Friesland.
That's like the Frisian way, but Fresia.
Fresia.
That's like, I guess, in the English way. That
I don't mean to butcher. No disrespect to my motherfuckers in Friesland. Did I say
you know more about Friesland already than most people do, so that's like a good thing.
As long as I know more than a lot of Europeans, because Europeans are some known ass motherfuckers, dude. They know a lot of shit about different places
Yeah, but like it's like freaking small too. It's like it's almost like knowing like a little bit about like
Each state.
New England or
Yeah,
like you know Idaho. I'm
Yeah.
like I know nothing about freaking Idaho because like the United States is so freaking big. It's like I live 45 minutes from the border of Germany, so obviously I know certain things about Germany.
Sure,
you know?
yeah.
Belgium. 2 hours away, probably.
Yeah.
Like it's like the Netherlands are just so small.
I mean,
you know, like,
Europe is like the States, except that it's different countries and different cultures, rather
Different
than
language
and different
mostly,
languages.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then in the States, it's just different states.
and that's like
with
why
different
we
cultures.
speak more languages too, obviously.
Yeah,
Because
'cause you
like
gotta.
imagine that like Providence, like which is right around the corner here, speaks a different language. Most likely, you would know at least a few sentences
To get by,
say,
yeah, enough to get by, yeah.
Like, you know, so obviously it's a lot smaller. So
Yeah, it's
you
like when
got
I
to.
lived in Oaxaca. By the time I left, I could get by.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I
Where's
was
Oaxaca?
South Mexico,
Oh, well, learn something new.
near the border, like Chiapas, Guatemala.
Okay.
Down that way, the southern Mexico. Really beautiful, beautiful city. But I just, but by the time you leave, you pick shit up because you gotta to get by. Like,
Yep.
there's no choice. You know what I mean?
And now everything in Europe is obviously a lot easier when we would like go like travel more around. Like it was not only like different language, but it was also different currency and all of that.
Yeah, I know.
Which was like I wasn't like a really pro like euro like
Yeah.
currency kind of thing, but it's like it makes
Makes it
things a
a lot
lot
easier,
easier because
yeah.
it's like just again imagine like
Dude.
Providence is like 25
Yeah.
minutes away and you have to like do a different currency.
Oh, I
It's
know.
like
It's
a pain
crazy.
in the ass.
I know. We went out. We did a European tour in '98 out there, and it was still like all the different currencies. And
Was that the one that you were with blood? You came with blood?
no,
for
no,
blood?
no. That was like 2010 or some shit.
Oh, okay.
Or 2011. But excuse me. We went out there and it was like weird because like, you had all these, and we were ignorant Americans. So we were just calling it funny money because it was so colorful compared to ours. Like
Monopoly
it's
money.
like, I got all this fucking funny money. What the fuck do I do? And these coins, like with us, if you lose a handful of coins, it's nothing. But out there, you could lose like $50.
Oh yeah, it's like you have like freaking $100 in coins in your pocket.
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
insane.
But it was funny because that's the first time I ever got paid $1 million of anything was Italian lira.
Yep.
And we got paid for the show. It was like $1 million lira, but it was like $1,000. But it was like, you know what I mean? But it was like, it seemed like cool. It was like, wow, I got $1 million of something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was fucking awesome.
I remember like when we were like touring, just like country to country, you would have at one point so much like different currency, and like you would lose out obviously on like exchanging it
Yeah,
again
yeah,
at every
yeah.
border, and like sometimes we just keep everything and then just do one exchange once we were like back in the Netherlands.
just to make
and
it
like,
easy, yeah,
exchange
yeah.
it. But as far as that goes, like same currency throughout all Europe made it a lot easier.
Yeah.
For traveling purposes, that's for sure.
No, absolutely. I can imagine. But so yeah, man. So a lot's happened in the last year, dude. Like you came on. It was February. It was pretty much before COVID. COVID was around, but we hadn't had shutdowns or shit yet. Like
Kind of got in the news, right? Like
It was in the
kind of
news.
talked about. Europe was already like full of shit, like
Yeah.
on that one. No, full of shit, full of COVID. But
But we were talking about it. And we were like, let's not really talk about that too much because who the fuck knows what's going on. But now a year and a month later, like a lot of shit's fucking gone down the last year. And I know like you were working in Boston, and since then you've opened your own studio up in the north of Boston and whatnot. But before we get into that, it's 20 minutes in. Time to reach into the bag, brother.
All right, let's go. Let's see what we got this time. I'm gonna dig deep. Yo, root beer McGilligutties. You
I got
the cherry.
That sounds horrible. That sounds like
Right.
cough. This sounds like cough
Like
medicine.
cough or something?
I pulled it. I pulled it. I gotta do it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Better than the butterscotch.
Ugh, the fucking cherry's
It's still
horrible.
so much fucking sugar, man.
Oh no,
God,
so like
horrible.
going back to the pineapple pizza thing quick. I don't like sweet. I like spicy. So I think that's why I wouldn't like that pizza because
So you're not a candy person then?
No. So like if something is salty, like pizza,
Salty balls.
no. Oh, that cherry McGilligutty is fucking horrible. Whoever works for Dr. McGilligutty, you're gonna need to take that cherry shit off the market. No one likes that shit. It tastes like fucking like cherry Vicks or some shit. Fucking I'm going to get sick now just because I feel like I just took medicine for being sick. You know, I'm going to psychosomatically, I'm going to get fucking sick now. But no, so like if things are like not, like candy's one thing. It's all sweet. Yeah, that's fine. But like things that are not supposed to be sweet, that sweet's added, like Thai food, you can get it sweet.
Yep.
Like mango coconut shit, or you can get spicy shit. I like the spicy shit. This is me. So that's what I mean. So that's probably why I got more of an aversion to sweet things on pizza, because to me, pizza is like a, you know, I like Italian food they call Fra Diavolo, like very spicy.
Yeah.
With like red peppers and shit. So I you know.
I got into the spicy stuff not till like recently. Like Tasha got me like kind of into like the spicy stuff. Like at first, like, you know, Dutch food is like pretty damn bland, right? I love it because it's just what I'm used to. But it's just
what are some mainstay Dutch Friesland?
We're pretty known for our pancakes, but then like we
smoking a pancake,
smoking a pancake. But like most common thing is I think it's just potatoes, veggies, and meat, and then we have
like
a lot
boiled
of mashed potatoes. No, it's like not boiled. Like what? You just put it in a pan with some butter, and then you you
fry it, pan fried.
Right, pan fried. There you go. Eat and see it.
So pancakes. Is there something different about the Dutch pancakes?
They're good. They're bigger. They're like you know how the American ones are like small but like really thick.
Yep.
And then the French ones are like really,
thin.
it's just a really thin pancake kind of thing. Crepes.
Yeah. Crepes. Yeah, my
Ours
grandmother
are
used
in
to make
between.
those.
So they're like still bigger, but like a little thicker. And then when you go to the Netherlands, like they have like pancake chips. I don't know. This is like something that I want to research one time, or I want,
Pancake
if
chip?
anybody knows like that listens from the Netherlands, why we have pancake chips.
What do you mean
Like
pancake chips?
It's a restaurant on a ship. So it's like
Just for
it's like-
pancakes?
yeah, you just like go in and that's like you eat a pancake on a ship. It's like
But
a
does
little
the ship leave port, or does it just stay
No,
parked?
I'm sure that some of them might do, but mostly are just like parked and it's just like, yeah, that's like the restaurant. You just eat it on a ship, a pannenkoekenschip. It's like it doesn't make sense to you. Pancake ship.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I figured that's what
yeah.
you said. Yeah.
But and then like we have a lot of like just mashed potatoes. Like we have mashed potatoes with kale and then some meat, like those things. It's just comfort food. It's like you know, or war food they would call it too. It's like it's really good, but it's
Why is that
pretty
war food?
bland because it like was like cheap.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, like pancake cake or not pancakes, like potatoes and kale.
War food.
It's really good.
That sounds like the
I
name of like a
freaking
crusty.
miss it, but-
Sounds like the name of a crusty D beat band. War food. I can see it in like those fucking like, you know, whatever letters and some kind of wolf logo.
There you go.
So anyone wants to take that, I don't care about that one. I'm not going to buy that domain. You can have war food.
I think that every time like we're almost like being like, yo, we gotta like just have GoDaddies on here and just
I
like
know.
register domain names as we like thinking about them, you know?
I've done a couple on this podcast. I've registered a couple because I know I got a day or two before it broadcasts out to the world that I can get in and sneak it in.
Sneak all of them and then sell them for big money. That was like what, like 20 years, 10, 15 years ago that they do that?
Yeah,
Sell
yeah.
like, you know, like domain names and all of that.
Yeah, like the motherfucker that just bought business.com, like probably made so much money on selling that domain. You know?
God, can you imagine like fucking like being back then, like fucking doing that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Or imagine buying Bitcoin when it was fucking
I did.
$70.
I bought Bitcoin at $2,000 and I was so stoked when it hit $3,500 that I sold it. Now I'm like, motherfucker, like I'm
Yeah.
late to the game again, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm like freaking sold too soon, but
When I first found out about Bitcoin, it was $600. And I was like, that seems like a lot of money to kind of throw into the ether. I didn't know enough about it. And then, you know, it's weird, man. No one thought, excuse me, no one thought it was going to get up to like $60,000 or over $50,000. That's fucking
crazy,
bananas, dude.
crazy.
Well,
Dogecoin is the new one.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I don't know if
I
you
didn't
heard
get in
of
on
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what happens is there's always a new coin and it goes up and then it goes down and then it just stays down for a long time.
Yeah. I think it's like kind of like the way I see it sometimes, that kind of stuff is like, it's like now we don't go to casinos or something like that. So it's casino money.
Yeah,
if I
yeah.
lose it, I lose it. If I win it, cool, you know? Still have a little bit of fun with it. Still a little downtime. Check it out. But
Yeah. I was pissed because I had Litecoin because Litecoin was supposed to be one that was supposed to get big. And I bought it between 40 and $60.
I have Litecoin too.
And then
Litecoin, Ethereum.
Yeah.
Did you have that one?
I didn't have Ethereum the main Ethereum. I had one of the Ethereum other ones. Like they had like Ethereum, wasn't Ethereum Cash, but it was Ethereum Classic or something.
Okay.
But
I don't even
but
know.
the thing is, so the Litecoin I bought it between $40 and $60, and it went up recently. It was going up, and then it'd come down, and then it'd go up, and I sold it at 165, so I still won, but it ended up going to like 240.
Yeah.
Now it's back down as whatever it is. It's down to like 200 or something.
I think of 170 this morning.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I
So
checked it.
So it just they go like
Yeah.
so when it goes back down cheap, like because it'll crash again. They all crash again. Then I'll buy it back, and then I'll just wait. I know now that just to wait the ride. But if we got any fucking cryptocurrency experts up there that want to give us some advice, feel free to hit us up, bigtruthpodcast@gmail.com, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just I've been watching it for long enough to know that they go up and down. You know what I mean? But I never thought Bitcoin. Then obviously Elon Musk got involved and whatever. I feel like Bitcoin, and I might be wrong, but I feel like there's going to be a big sell off of that at some point, and then it's going to. Because just like
Tank.
a couple months ago, it was $5,000.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
just
it
a
was
couple
like-
months ago, like literally like 2 months ago, it was like $5,000, and now it's back up to now it's up to 50 fucking grand. It's
It's
fucking
like crazy. I'm like horrible in these kind of things because I'm just like seeing like a profit coming and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, it will like keep on going. It will keep
Yeah.
on going. And then by the time that I check it again, it's way fucking down. And I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, late to the party again.
But you know
I'll
what?
just
You don't lose
hold
by
on
holding
to
on it. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's it. Like that's the way I see it. Just like hold on to it, and it's like a fun kind of thing. It's like,
Yeah,
whatever,
no, absolutely. So what's going on, man? You, I know over the pandemic, you had a couple of activities going on. Tell us about your new venture. Like what was kind of going on behind that? What made you take that jump, and what that's been like?
So I opened my own studio. Like that was like something that I had in mind already. I signed the lease a week before like the shutdown happened here in America. So that was kind of like a stressful thing because
Sure.
like we didn't know, right? Like from anything that I heard from my friends in like the Netherlands that they were just like shut down for like 3-4 months at a time. And I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? It's like I signed the lease. And then it actually worked out really good because my idea was like more like being like, all right, I'm going to like remain working at Good Faith Tattoo. I love those guys. I miss them. But like I had to like just like start after 9 years, start doing my own thing. So the whole idea was like that I was still going to be there on the weekends. And then during the week or during the evenings, I would build out the tattoo shop, like have some friends come help and like maybe do it like pretty quick. Shutdown happened. And I was like, well, fuck. It actually like worked out good because we were shut down for like maybe about 3 months.
Yeah.
Like something like that. So I am not good staying inside the house. Like, and this gave me a project to do to where I could just like safely just go to the studio, close the doors, smoke a bunch of weed and just paint the whole studio. And I actually modified it or redid it a lot more than I initially like intended just because I had the time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I had 3 months time to just like build out the studio to how I envisioned it and what I wanted it to go to. And I'm so lucky that I have like so many clientele. Like I've been working really hard to build up like a solid clientele here in the Massachusetts and New England area. And the support was like great. So I was just like keep on like booking appointments to finally, when we were allowed to be back open, I was basically instantly back in business. And then like about 2 months in after the shutdown, I was just like, it was so nice to work really close to the house. So I can walk from home and it's like a 25-minute walk,
Well,
or
wasn't
it's
that
like a
part of the-
7-minute kind of like drive, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I didn't have to deal with like the Boston traffic anymore.
yeah.
And during the pandemic, like it was like not that bad,
Sure,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
whole traffic, but like you know how Boston city traffic is. And I just like wanted to be a little closer to home to where I had like a little bit more time for all of my side projects too.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, all right.
So that was one of the main
start that.
impetuses that made you want to do your own thing, so you didn't have to go into Boston every day.
Yeah, so
get
I didn't
that.
have
Boston,
to go into Boston.
It's a
you
pain
know?
in the balls, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, you know, like the shop was open 12 to 8, which means that you're mostly there 11 till 9, and then you had to go back, and then the Tobin Bridge would be like under construction like every fucking time. So it's like be back home at like 10, then you still have to eat. So it was just like starting to be this like little bit more unhealthy lifestyle, you know, because it's like at 10 o'clock, you still got to eat, and being like, well, I don't want to cook. I don't even know how to really cook. So you just like pick up like some fast food and all of that. And it was just like one of those things to be like, all right, let's be a little closer to home, have a little bit more time for like any side projects, maybe like some painting. And I actually do remember that you were like being like, yeah, good luck. You think that you open your own place, that you're going to have more time. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
You were 100% right on it, because I haven't had time for anything, because running your own business is absolutely crazy. But besides opening the studio, I had still enough time to open the side project Tattoo Flash Collective that I do.
Yeah.
We actually opened Tattoo Flash Collective Europe as well in that time. So within this like last year, we opened up Tattoo Flash Collective Europe and my own studio. So I've been actually going like nonstop. And you know, I've noticed that like my personality, it's like I like to complain. No matter what, like there is like things. I'm too busy, I complain. I'm not busy, I complain that I'm not too busy. I basically like to be productive. I like to be busy. I like to have things on my mind and all of that. It's been working out awesome. It's good. Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, through this whole pandemic, you run a tattoo shop. Things are like really weird. Things are like a lot different. But they're good. It gave me a little bit of like time to like reflect on things, to just like calm down a little bit, like still work hard, but like somehow it feels different. If you work at your own shop, it feels different than others. I do 11 till 6 now instead of 12 to 8, which is like a huge like difference already, to just like be home around like 7, 8 o'clock.
Plus there's no commute time.
And there's no commute time. I started actually walking just because of the snow and all of that. I didn't want to have to deal with parking on the street. I just like walk. I get like a little bit of exercise in, clear my mind for like 25 minutes. And it's been great. You know, it's like been good. A lot of big projects, a lot of big like back pieces, full sleeves, full leg sleeves, and all of that.
Fuck
so
yeah, man.
I can't complain about that,
dude. And you couldn't have done the Tattoo Collective, Flash Collective Europe at a better time, because like fucking shipping to Europe has gone up so much.
Insane.
Just the last month, it shot up again. I had a dude that wanted a T-shirt, and it was like the shipping. Like even first class is like $24 now, and I'm like, it's more than the fucking shirt.
So, and besides that, it's like what the biggest problem is not only like the shipping, but like the minute that the European person like receives that T-shirt, they can even get hit on like taxes and all of that as well. So it's like one of the reasons, obviously, that we wanted to do it was like making shipping easier, but like a big push was like that. Like Europe has been almost shut down for 6 months out of a year. So tattooers were not working. And then, like there was like a little bit of like relief fund and money that like the government would give to them, but that's like the bare minimum, basically what you get, right?
Yeah.
So like a lot of tattooers were just like painting, and that was like a way to like get some extra money. But by opening Tattoo Flash Collective, although it was really hard because the people that do buy the stuff are the ones that like were out of work as well. But like we were able to just like still like get like a little bit of supplemental income for these tattooers, for these artists, by selling these things out of Europe now, with shipping cost is a lot cheaper, no import cost anymore. So it's like a product that costs you $20 plus $20 shipping plus like $10 like thing. Being like, it's a $50 shirt at that point.
Yeah, it's crazy, yeah.
It's absolutely insane. So I was lucky that, like, obviously we had the contact. So a friend of ours in Germany, he's, like, running, like, the Tattoo Flash Collective Europe kind of stuff. So it's like, actually, like, really cool. I was happy to
So you have a similar, like, printing setup over there? Yeah,
he is doing the printing. He's a tattooer out of Aachen, Germany. Andreas, like it's Saints and Sinners tattoo. He's been like a guy in the hardcore scene, involved in the hardcore scene and the tattoo scene for like I think last week it was his 30-year anniversary, quote unquote anniversary for like tattooing and all of that. Yeah. So that was like one of the things that like, you know, like we talked about last time, right? Just like keeping it within just like, you know, the business itself, like make sure that like we support the actual artists and just have a tattooer run still, even in Europe.
Yeah, so. Absolutely, man. That's fucking rad. And you're doing, are you offering like separate things, or is it the same?
It's the same. We're probably going to start offering like a few different kind of like different exclusive kind of things. But as of now, it's just the same. It took forever because obviously Europe is using a different format of like framing.
Yeah.
So we had to convert all the flash, which is standard 11 by 14 in American, and then A3, and that doesn't like just blow up like naturally.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I had to like, I think we have over 2,000 pages of flash. So I had to like just go into Photoshop and just adjust every sheet. And I am not really good at Photoshop, but I had to learn, you know?
Yeah.
And it was also a process that wasn't like any kind of timeline. We could just like being like, okay, this is what we have available now. And next week we'll have some more, you know?
That's a good thing
like,
to keep you busy while you're fucking not working. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, that's what I try to do. Just like go into work, like the first hour, it's just social media. It's like Tattoo Flash Collective stuff, answering emails. Then I basically tattoo for a couple hours. And then at the end of the day, I'll just finish off with like, you know, answering like any kind of emails again, and then just do my drawings for like the next day, basically.
Yeah.
So,
fuck yeah, man.
and that's like basically 6 days a week at the moment. And then I did promise myself that like this summer I was going to like slow it down a little bit just so I can enjoy the summer months and like riding some motorcycle and all that. But
people are stupid, and then everyone wants to get tattooed in the summer when it's way better to get tattooed in the fall or winter.
Yep.
And so that's going to be tough. How far out are you scheduling now?
I'm lucky enough that I'm in August at the moment.
Yeah,
and
so
most of
your
my
summer's already planned. Yeah.
Yeah, my summer is planned, and most of my regulars, I do tell them that, like being like, all right, if we just do a one shot kind of tattoo, we can do that in the summers and all of that. I get it, but like New England, we really don't have that many months of summer, you know. So I tell my regular clients just enjoy it. Enjoy the summer. Go to the pool. Go to the beach. Go to barbecues. Don't worry about getting a sunburn on your fresh tattoo and all of that. Hit me back up in October, you know?
Yeah.
And then just like there's always those few people that obviously want to get tattooed in the summer, so they keep me busy. But like, I've been trying to just like kind of just like being a tattooer, being busiest in the months of like, let's say October, like mid-October to like beginning of May. Like that's like where I want to like book all my clients in, and then just have a little bit of time off in the summer, or like maybe go down to 5 days a week to where you can like ride on the weekends, you know?
Yeah, man. So. Exactly. I wish I could go down to 5 days a week. So like in my head, I was just like, man, I wish I could go down to 5 days a week.
5 days a week, just like a little, like at least like a little ride and all of that. And this is obviously also like one of those things that you wish for that it would happen, but you know, there's always days that you're just like back at the shop. I think that like you can see the passion in your work as well. Although like we work like too much sometimes, it's like we're passionate about it, you know?
Yeah.
It has its frustrations and all of that, you know? Yeah. But overall, it's been like super fun. So I'm super stoked on the studio. You haven't seen it yet, but
no, I
like
gotta come up.
It's bigger than I would have like that I was looking for as well, you know.
But at least you got room like where you don't have to worry about outgrowing it.
Exactly. I would have like enough room. Like the idea was like kind of to have like 1 week out of a month, just have like guest artists come in. Obviously, a lot of my European friends would just like be able to come over, and then like so many American tattooers that I know. So I was like, all right, instead of like having a solid crew like constantly there, I would just like to have a revolving door of just like guest artists coming in. But nobody's traveling at the moment.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
it's
right
just
now,
like one of those things. It's like it's just a little too hard. So once this is hopefully over and no new strains come and whatever the fuck is happening, maybe we can just finally like see that happen, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're 40 minutes in, so you know what that means.
That means here we got the bag.
Mystery bag of nips.
I'll go for the top this time. God, fireball. I don't know if I'm happy about this or not.
I got a McGillicuddy's apple pie.
We should like kind of make it that like if you put $5 in the bag, you can do a second grab or something like that, you know? Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, God. That's too strong.
It's too sweet. It's not strong. It's too sweet. Oh, you took a
Well, I took a fireball. That's like, ooh.
I do not. I don't like sweet alcohol, but the sacrifices we make for art
Yeah, there you go. It's all in the name of like this podcast, the True Podcast.
For
I
our,
think
for our businesses or
the
whatever.
last time that I had 2 nips was actually when I was like FaceTiming Packer for Lenny's birthday.
Oh yeah.
Like, we had a shot, and for the rest, these nips are mostly reserved for Chopperhead Podcast.
Yeah, but
Big True Podcast.
I mean, when I was at your house, you seem to have plenty of them hanging around, dude. There was no shortage of them just hanging around your counter. So
it's like funny because like whenever I go whenever I do go to the liquor store, I don't. If I buy a big bottle of because like vodka is like more like my choice.
Yeah, me too.
It's just like easy. It like mixes with everything, but it like takes me forever to go through a bottle of vodka. Instead, I'd rather buy $40 of nips and just get all kinds of like different nips, and mostly it's like fireballs. But like sometimes I get like these different ones, and it's like at least like being like, all right, it's a quick shot for like when a friend comes over, or like before we go ride, or before I go to sleep, or anything like that. And just it's a variety. I think that like a bottle of Fireball will take me forever to finish. Yet I can finish 10 nips in like, a weekend easy, or a week or a day.
you just like the little convenient size.
Yeah, and then actually, did you know that they are starting to charge 5 cents of like what is that called?
Oh,
It's like
the
rebate, or no,
yeah,
it's not a rebate.
No. Really, they're putting 5 cents on each
5
one.
cents on each one because
In Maine, not Massachusetts, but in Maine.
Yeah, but they're going to start in Massachusetts. I think it's on
Fucking Massachusetts. Fucking relax already. How much fucking tax can you fucking take out of our fucking hands? Like, seriously, enough. They're putting the gas tax up. Now you're going to tax 5 cents on each little fucking bottle of nip? You motherfucker. You dirty motherfuckers. Like, leave us the fuck alone.
But then if you are like saving them all, you get the 5 cents back. But then you have to like drive through a redemption center that takes like more in gas.
Because what happens here is we just throw our recycling in a bin and they come take the recycling. I don't get compensated the 5 cent deposit on everything.
But
I'd have to go.
Though,
I know,
right?
yeah,
like,
but
it's an extra step, obviously. It costs you that in gas.
I'm also not a homeless person walking around like digging through trash to fucking do that. I'd rather save it. Like, come by my house. There's plenty of fucking bottles and shit in my fucking thing. Come take it and fucking get that money, motherfuckers. Like, you're fine to do that. Like,
it is crazy how much like taxes there compared. Like, I think that compared to Europe, obviously we have more taxes, but like Massachusetts is pretty similar to taxes.
Yes.
Like,
so in Europe, you probably have bigger tax rates, but there's only a few taxes. Here we have income tax, state income tax, property tax, excise tax, sales tax, tax on gas, tax on fucking alcohol, tax on cigarettes, then you got your licenses, which are taxes, but with a different name, and registrations, which are taxes,
and
with
like
different
whenever
names,
you purchase
tolls
products,
and
like,
fucking sales tax and fucking this and that, and they just keep nickel and fucking diming you to a fucking oblivion, but they do it so incrementally that you don't notice it. Like, you're like, oh, fuck, that's fucking stupid. But it's not like huge. It's not like a fucking sucker punch to the face. It's like little fucking flicks to the ear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, anytime they institute a new tax, it doesn't get fucking repealed. It just gets added to at some point. And that's like, state roads, like where there's toll roads. Those tolls are only supposed to be there until the road is paid for.
Okay.
But those tolls never go away.
Well, yeah, that's
you know what I mean? And so it never goes away. But where's my property tax going if it's not paying for those fucking roads or whatever? I mean, maybe that's federal road, not a state road. I don't, who fucking knows? Or state and not town or whatever. But, like they're just charging you tax. Like in Massachusetts, we have excise tax on a vehicle. So you buy a vehicle, right? You go buy a car.
Yeah.
And you pay sales tax on that. And you're already paying property tax, which goes to the roads and shit or whatever. Now you pay an excise tax every fucking year on something you've already paid tax on.
Yeah.
It's fucking taxes on fucking taxes. It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, and that's the thing too, because like I pay taxes on the money that I make tattooing, and then I buy a motorcycle or motorcycle parts. I pay taxes on top of that. Then I pay you that money. You pay taxes over the money that I paid you. So at one point, it's like being like,
how much you gonna
how
fucking
often
take?
are we going to tax this dollar that I like made? And
then now as being in business for yourself, like you got insurances and you got fucking insurance on the building, insurance on the business, insurance on the fucking
it's crazy
inventory you have in the business, and I'm paying 4 insurance companies before I'm paying myself. You know what I mean? And it's like, how many motherfuckers do I have to support with my business before I can make a penny?
Yep. Yeah, that was like definitely one of those things that like I underestimated myself. Like I knew obviously that I had to like get taxes, but then it was like being like, all right, you got to get taxes for this, you got to get taxes for this, you got to get insurance for that. You got to like, it's like motherfuckers.
And I love hooking people up, but that's why I get pissed when people come in and try and nickel and dime me on shit. I'm like, no, motherfucker, I got to pay I got to pay my mortgage and I got to pay all these other things. Like, it's not like I'm getting rich. You know what I mean? It's like I always like did in tattooing, like being like, if you ask for a deal, like you're not getting the deal. It's like I'm the one that chooses to give you a deal. Absolutely.
You know, it's like being like no matter if you're a friend or not, like being like, it's just like one of those things. It's like being like, yo, I appreciate it if I get a deal, but I'm not expecting it. You know, it's like if I go to like one of my friends' business or just any kind of business, I'm just expecting to pay it because it's not like one of those things that like you're making like a CEO like super fucking rich, you know. Go to a fucking small business, like you just like keep their head above the water, you know. It's like being like, it is what it is, man. Like you don't need like to have like deals. Being like, if you really need a deal that bad, maybe you don't need the product that bad. You know? Like being like, just like fucking pay for it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like a fucking deal. I like a hookup and all of that. But it's like, I'm never expecting it. You know, it's like I tell my clients too, being like, yo, I'll hook you up where I can, but like the time that I do need it, I will charge you money, and then I don't want to hear any complaints too. You know, if I'm all of a sudden like hitting you with like the money, you know, like being like it's how I pay the bills. You know, it's how you pay the bills. So it's like being like, and it's not like we're like freaking having like tons of money. You know,
It's crazy.
Like, we get by.
Yeah, but you know that's the joys. You know, the thing is, but at the same time, like I'm complaining more about how much the state fucking takes, like, and federal government. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't want to go punch in and fucking make some rich dude richer. You know what I mean? Like working for some big corporation, some soulless fucking corporation where you can make a lot of money just fucking sitting around fucking jerking off in front of a computer screen for an hour, do an hour of work a day, get paid for 7, which is what most people are doing right now. Like productivity is so fucking small. Yeah. But people work in these big corporations and they're just making hand over fist money for doing shit. You know what I mean? But those profits rise to the top more than they rise to the, you know, to the mid and lower level workers. So
and that's it. Like I'm not directly like very knowledgeable in politics and all of that. I'm more of like what I would call like I vote with emotion sometimes, right? Like, and that's not always the right thing. First of all, I can't vote here anyway, right? But it's like I try to stay as informed as possible and learn, and I'm always like admitting if I was wrong on like a certain standpoint that I had, because like I get like new like information and all of that, you know? But it's just like crazy to see. It's like being like, yo, I understand that taxes need to be done, right? Shit needs to be fixed. Shit needs to fucking work and all of that. But it's like, goddamn, why do we need to like tax like the small people? Like being like, tax the big fucking motherfuckers. Well, so
you know? What happens is the middle class has the burden because the super elite or the super rich have ways to get out of shit. Yeah. And they got loopholes. And then the super poor, which rightfully so, they don't pay much, you know, or into the system. But the middle class, which is shrinking exponentially, is getting squeezed the hardest. Squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. It's going to be a breaking point. And people think, you know, like, you know, it was one thing when people riot for different things over the summer, over the, you know, last summer or whatever. When the middle class finally breaks and those motherfuckers start rioting, like, that's going to be fucking ugly. And it's going to come because we keep getting squeezed and squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. I don't want it, but I feel like it's definitely something that's inevitable at this point. Like, with 40% of small businesses being permanently shut down and fucking, and, you know, taxes on taxes and taxes and taxes, like, at every level, like, you know, your local town government, your state government, the federal government, like, it's fucking bananas, dude. We can't take it anymore.
So the rich people that use those like loopholes and all of that, like you think that the middle class is not like us, like we're not using those loopholes because obviously I can't afford a accountant that charges so much money to know all those like
it's all shell games.
You know?
And I mean, and let me take it back. I'm not saying every rich person doesn't pay their fair share of taxes, but rich people have an advantage and they have better lawyers and things like to get around things like corporations, like, but like it kills me when a company like Amazon comes into a town. Like Amazon opened a warehouse in Andover, Mass. Yeah. Andover is a very affluent community north of Boston, in between Boston and New Hampshire. Very affluent, very affluent.
What does that mean? Affluent?
Rich.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a middle class. It's like upper
class.
upper middle class. You know, upper class, whatever. And you know, Andover gave them 5 years with no property tax.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, because they're bringing jobs. No motherfucker from Andover is going to work at Amazon's fucking warehouse, dude. I can tell you that. You know what I mean? Like, why do they get a tax break, but some dude who's scraping every dollar he has to open his own business, he doesn't get a tax break?
Yeah,
but these big
saw
fucking
that.
corporations get tax breaks. On top of when, you know, they weren't shut down over the fucking thing, and they were profiteering like motherfucking pirates.
Yeah, because
You
it
know
was
what I
like a $28 million tax break or something.
Yeah,
like
it's
I saw
fucking
in the
bananas.
Because they just opened one in Revere too. It's
they do it
it's
everywhere.
Like a thing. It's like being like, all right, it's like weird because like in a way I get it being like, okay, it's nice that you're giving these jobs out, but it's like being like, okay, so what if I give jobs out? Do I get?
Yeah,
like
yeah, that's what I mean.
It's
That's
like it's
it's
insane.
crazy,
It's
yeah.
like being like these guys can actually afford this.
They
And
can-
I think the only way to go down on it, which will never kind of happen, like the way that I kind of see it,
down
like
on
some funny nip.
All right, yeah, you said it.
But like it's like one of these like things, right? That I am like, all right.
Oh, we both got regular McGilligan.
Oh shit, menthol. All right, it's like drinking a peppermint.
Yeah, this is
And Wilhelmintje for the Dutch people. Wilhelmintjes, pepermintjes, pepermunt.
I can't say that. What he said, ditto.
Ugh,
That's the one
it's
you want
really
last.
like fucking Listerine.
It's like mouthwash, yeah.
But like,
I haven't been drinking, officer. I just brushed my teeth.
yeah, I think that like it's like it's almost like being like we should just we can bring obviously these big companies down, but it's like it's just don't like buy from them anymore. But it is goddamn convenience, and it's almost like that. Like, what do you guys call that when like you're in like school and like some people are like, we're gonna do a walkout and you know everybody is like fuck yeah,
And then, like, four people walk out.
four
Yeah.
people walk out. You know,
That's how it
I'm
always
the only
is.
motherfucker to walk out. So it's like being like, we will never stop Walmart, we will never stop Amazon if we keep on buying on it, and the masses keep on buying. You and I can stop like ordering from Amazon, but it ain't gonna do anything if like 90% of the population is still.
I do my
using
part
it, you
just
know?
so I
It's
can
like,
put my head down at night and know that whatever. But so with that said, obviously the problem is we get what we deserve. We elect fucking shitty politicians. We get shitty government. We buy and support shitty fucking multinational fucking conglomerates, and that's what we support, and we put small business out of business. So that's we get what we deserve. And I'm not saying me and you, but I'm talking about as a whole, as the population as a whole.
yeah.
Like
in the world, because Amazon is like indoctrinating or like getting into Europe now as well, and
of course,
like
yeah.
they're gonna take over. And it's you know what I always like with you, it's like being like you're actually active into like saying being like you want shit to change, you have to write your local politicians, because if you don't do it, like these big companies are lobbying and going for it, right? And I think that that's like almost like the thing to where I can like be a little bit more involved in these kind of like things as well. You know, I'm definitely like a little bit more on the side. It's like on the sideline sometimes. It's
sure,
like being like,
yeah,
you know,
and I get it, yeah.
you know, I've been here long enough, right? I've been here 12 years. Like, I still speak about like freaking home as like back in the Netherlands, but like I've been here 12 years, right? Like this has become my home and all of that. And I should take a little bit more care of it, but you know, not being able to vote and all of that. But that doesn't mean that I cannot like actually like write politicians and you know, go to like meetings and see all of that. But maybe people don't want to change. Maybe some people want to change and some don't. You know, it's like it's just convenience wins over everything, right? And the dream of like becoming like a millionaire or like inherently wealthy yourself is like so alive in not only America but in Europe too, that it's like just being like, when is enough, right? Like being like the money at one point got to me too, being like, you know, you make like freaking like X amount of money a month, you were like being like, next month I make this much. Like now it becomes a standard to make that much and all of that. But it's like, I've never noticed that the more money I make, I didn't gain any more happiness or any more like quality of life, besides like freaking products, right? Just like being like,
Yeah,
all
who
right,
cares?
cool. I can get like a new jacket, or I can get like the new fucking PlayStation, although like fucking PlayStation 5, as we talked about this morning, I can't even get no matter how much fucking money you make, right? Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just like funny. It's like being like, you know, like money over anything, like, you know, convenience over anything, you know, and I fall prey to it myself too. So it's like,
mean,
I'm
you know,
not
of
saying
course,
that
of
I'm a
course.
goody fucking dude, you know,
Yeah.
it's like being like convenience is something, right? It's like,
Yeah.
it helps. Like, I mean, the way that Amazon did it, like, it's definitely like one of those things that it's like being like, God damn, I see why they got so fucking big, but it's a fucking cancer, man.
Oh,
Like
it
that
is.
fucking company is like a fucking cancer. It's like, fuck it, you know.
Yeah,
it's like being
yeah.
like you just want to cancel your subscriptions completely to it
Yeah.
and just like not support it at all. You know? But-
With the caveat, I said, like, I love Amazon Prime because they got all the weird shit on it, like old biker movies.
I
and
watch
shit.
all the chopper head ones on there. Like that's the one thing. It's like if
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
drawing, if I'm painting, I have the chopper head things on there because I know you get 2 cents even every time I fucking
yeah.
watch it. I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck yeah, I paid 2 pennies to fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like being like after 100 times he can get a fucking pineapple fucking pizza, you know?
fuck yeah, dude. No, but you know, I mean, the what you said resonates and it rings true. So this is something, and this is not preachy. We're not trying to get in a political discussion here, but how you got to understand things is a politician gets elected, and this is just natural human shit, right? Like you get elected. Like say you can't but
I would make a good
I know,
president, man.
but just say so, and whatever it is, like so someone gets elected, and they go in with every good intention, and they get in, they don't hear from any of their constituents, but they do hear from these fucking lobbyists, relentlessly, incessantly, fucking ridiculously.
Money, obviously.
And so they're like, you know, and they might go in and be like, nah, I'm not going to fuck with that. But sooner or later, they're going to get broke down and they're going to do something. And they're going to do something sketchy, and it goes through, and they realize they didn't hear from a single one of their constituents. And they're like, oh shit, these motherfuckers don't care. So let's just keep it fucking rolling. And I feel like, I can't say without a doubt, but I feel like that's what the fuck happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even the best intentioned people get in and get fucking corrupted. Not all of them, but many of them, you know? And then it's just a corrupt system now where there's too much power on part of like huge corporations and huge lobbies that go unchecked. And that's fucking shit up. And I think no matter what anyone says right now, whether it's intentional or not, whether it's been declared or not, there is a fucking war on the middle class right now. An economic war on the middle class launched by huge multinational corporations, big pharmaceutical companies, military industrial complex, fucking China, and fucking, you know, and a fucking lax government that answers to those interests and not to the people. And I beg for anyone to convince me otherwise because I don't see it. I try and give benefit of the doubt, but time and time again, that's what you see. You know what I mean? And then it doesn't matter if it was the bad orange man when he was president or the fucking Alzheimer fucking Biden. You know, it's all the fucking same shit, man. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking crazy. You know, like and so, you know, like I challenge anyone to convince me different. I wish someone would, like, you know, like I want to have more hope, but I don't. That's why I'm like, I'm of the mindset now. Let's wait till this motherfucker breaks because it's coming. You know what I mean?
That's
it's coming.
Like, I agree 100% with you. Like as far as like it is coming. It's like we're coming to a breaking point, and I think it's like for me, it's like a sad thing to see that like being like what's in your bank account starts to be more important than like just like a decency and just like a human compassion towards like other
that too.
things.
Yeah.
It's like being like, you know, as a politician, like you said, you can come into office and just have all the best intentions, but eventually that money and that power and that like just starts to consume you, right? And it's like being like, God damn, are we really changing everything just in the name of like just the almighty dollar, you know? It's like being like, the more money you have, the more power you have, the more like whatever status you have. And it's like being like, I don't know, at that point, you almost don't even want to be fucking rich, right?
Yeah,
like being like,
it's
fuck, man. Like,
I mean,
like,
it's like you said, man, we're happy. You know what I mean? Like we got fulfilling lives because we create our own way through the world. We don't got the same amount as like some CEO guy or some like high ranking manager. You know, I don't have frivolous fuck you money, but I got good friends. I got good family. I got good people in my life. I got like, I come to work in my own little worlds And at the end of the day, I'm fucking stoked. Like, I'm not wanting for anything. Like you said, if I had more money in the bank, I would just have more padding. I wouldn't be buying more shit. Or I'd be reinvesting in my businesses. That's all I'd be doing, is trying to grow the businesses. Like, and you know, and so, you know, what's enough, what's not enough, like. But you know, the problem is we're in a culture that like materialism is just fucking touted and pushed on people 24 hours a day.
Well, I mean, that's like with social media, right?
Yeah,
like being like
and fear. So people are fucking just scared and fucking. They want to fill a void in their life. So like, oh, maybe if I get this new fucking thing, you know, I'll feel better. You feel better for like 2 minutes. You know what I mean? And then really.
And I fell prey to that too, you know? It's I fell prey to it. It's like, it's really easy to fall prey to it. And I think it's like an important thing to like sometimes like discuss with your friends and all of that too, or just like bring up that it's like being like, yo, we're not all good. We all fall prey to it because like I like scroll the fucking internet and I see like certain like things and advertisings and you like fall prey to it and you fall prey to the whole fucking corporate masses and all of that shit. But it's
or even weird shit like in our subculture. Dude, I got so much old Chopper magazines and so much bullshit that I don't fucking need. Like, I'm ready to start selling everything off or just fucking burning it and fucking walking away.
I go through those like kind of stages.
Because I'm like, it'd be so easy to have nothing.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's
well, and it's also, it's like being like, it's like one of those things. Cause so in the tattoo shop, what I've been trying to do now, like as you know as well, and this is probably true in like the whole like chopper world and any kind of business, it's like being like, we don't have like lunch breaks, right? We don't have like a corporate kind of like, hey, this is your half-hour lunch break. You just eat in between appointments, right? That's it. Yeah. I like made it a point that I actually have an hour of lunch break myself, to where I can appreciate the things that I have that I like collected over the years, like magazines, Tattoo Flash, and all of that.
Machines, you motherfucking tattoo artists are obsessed with collecting tattoo machines.
Well, and tattoo machines. And
I get it. I'm not coming down on that. If I was a tattoo artist, I mean, I'm not even a tattoo artist. And like, if someone was like, hey man, there's this fucking Sailor Jerry machine you can get for like whatever cheap money, I'd be all over that fucking thing and put it in a fucking shadow box and have it on display, you know?
But that's the thing sometimes, like being like, you know, sometimes we're so busy that we don't even appreciate the things that we like purchased or something, you know? And it's like being like, what I try to do now is like really just like whenever I have lunch is to grab some of those magazines and just like flip through them.
Sure.
I don't read too much because like just I have a problem reading and all of that kind of stuff, right? But like I do want to appreciate the stuff that I accumulated over the years, because if I do not appreciate the stuff that I accumulated over the years, you might as well fucking sell it off. If it's just like sitting in there, I mean, like it's not like gaining any value. It's not like a piece of flash from the 1980s that I bought for $10 is going to be worth like hundreds of dollars like later on. Like some of them do, but like most of them are like being like, yo, even if you get the money back, right? And then you're going to the value point again. But it's like, to me, it's almost like being like, the thing that in America, like compared to like Europe that scared me, right? Was like the obviously this is a capitalistic like society, right? And the thing is like, no matter how much money you save, like, right? And how much money you make, you're only one misstep away from like financial fucking destroying, because you could break your fucking leg and have $200,000 in the bank, and like it is all fucking gone. Yeah. So might as well just fucking enjoy life a little bit with like maybe just like I don't need tons of money in the bank. I want to have like a little bit of a security blanket. But like to me, like the most important things in life are just like being like a social life, you know, friends that you can count on, friends you can just like
is the thing that got taken away most over the last year. I mean,
that's like the hardest thing, right? Being like just to come over and have like, you know, just like you know me, it's like if I have a day off, like I don't need an excuse to put extra miles on my motorcycle or even my car. I'll just like come here, like drive like an hour and 15 minutes just to say hi real quick, just to get that sense of like kind of like, you know, like a social thing. And that's like, I feel that like the more we are getting like involved into like, oh, I need more money so I can buy more. you see your friends less and less and less,
yeah.
you know? And
And then you just got
FaceTime
more
is
and
like,
more shit around you. Like it's like you surround yourself with baubles and bullshit, like instead of like real shit.
yeah, and it's like, you know, it's like being like, hey, I'm not gonna lie. I would like a fucking second motorcycle, a third motorcycle, and all of that. But in all honesty, is it gonna enhance my enjoyment of like riding? All I need is just like one motorcycle. I am happy with my fucking Harley Davidson, right? It's like fucking amazing. When I moved to America, that was the only motorcycle I could ever fucking go for, right? But if I could ever not afford it, I would definitely still have like a
Something,
fucking something, right? To just like be able to ride, to be able to get that like enjoyment out of life besides just sitting on the fucking couch and watching TV. And that's like one thing that I have noticed that like we're going into more and more, especially with this pandemic. It's being like, I just like work, come home, plop my fucking ass on the couch, eat something, watch TV, whatever is like fucking like done. Being like, I mean, you can scroll freaking from Netflix for hours before you find something that is actually fucking interesting. So I've been like going more on the kick of like YouTube again and like seeing these old like Chopperhead videos on like Amazon, like unfortunately Amazon, but like, you know, it's like just like kind of like seeing and just like get like kind of like involved with like just something that is not just like feeding into the public to where they just want to indoctrinate you. It's like being like, it's like really important, like being like social life and social fucking contacts are so important in this fucking world. And we're getting less and less and less of it because we're just working 60, 70, fucking 80 hours of
And
fucking
then everything
week
else is closed.
to afford it. Everything else is closed. And that's not a good thing too. You know, it's like being like, you should always have the time to go by your friends and have a fucking cup of coffee, have a fucking joint, have a beer, have a nip, whatever the fuck you want, right? Like being like, that is like important to
Bang
fucking
some
have.
meth.
You
No,
know?
I'm just kidding. And that's what
Shoot
you're
a
into,
fucking
whatever.
gun, like whatever the fuck you want to do, you know? It's like, it's just like, I don't know. It's really easy to get like caught up in like those kind of things. And it's like, I want to enjoy like those like little things in life, like being like, if I'm only one misstep away of like fucking financial ruin because of like some kind of like medical emergency kind of thing, being like, yo,
Most of us are, man.
just like, I mean, like, no matter how much money you have, I mean, like, you know, the medical emergencies in this country is like obviously the first thing that is like coming up, like being like, you know, like you have anything, like being like, fuck. Then I worked like really hard to just like pay a fucking doctor to keep me healthy. And then I'm like financially ruined for the rest of my life, being like, let me just enjoy it a little bit. Let me enjoy the small little things. And the most important thing is just like friendships and like fucking social contacts, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's, I think, we're of the old school where that was more important. I think kids now are getting indoctrinated to just look at screens and then all their social shit is on screens. And I don't feel like that's healthy, man. Like, I think the biggest, and I've said it before on this, you know, the biggest difference between generations now and then like our generations is like being home was you were punished. You know what I mean? Like now kids don't want to fucking leave, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like we wanted to be out getting into some shit. Like, you know what I mean? You didn't want to be home. That was punishment. That meant you were grounded. You like fucked up. Like you were forced
You didn't want to be
home.
inside. Like,
No, you wanted to go
no.
do shit with your friends, you know? And it's like get into some dumb shit, man. And I don't know. I feel like spirit is being choked out. You know what I mean?
Well, it is, and that's like let's say like for instance, we've been talking about this like right in the tattoo world and all of that, where like the iPads and all of that are like taking like this.
And by that,
thing,
but and
you know?
for the
It's
record, we had from one of the patrons that support the podcast. They wanted to know if you had changed your views on the iPad for Tattoo Flash at all. Someone had wrote in with a question. So,
oh, really? Okay, that's
so you've had a
very
year.
Interesting.
You've had a year. So let's talk about that. And shout out to Jake from patrons. And if you don't know what that is, check out patreon.com/Big Truth. Right.
So we still don't accept like any like iPad created like Tattoo Flash. And one of the reasons for it is I find that it's kind of, and this is like definitely a personal kind of thing. I find that it's like soulless, right? It's like you can do things on the iPad that you could never do on the skin. The way, and I might have touched base on this like on the first one, but that's like a year ago and my memory doesn't go that far. I was always thought that like whatever you produce as Flash can never be better than what you can produce on the skin, right?
Sure.
Because like if a client is looking on the wall and then looks at his tattoo and is like being like, well, fuck, that on the wall looks way better than what I have on the
It should
thing,
look
right?
better, as
It should
good
look
or better on the skin.
So
yeah.
like the smoothness that you have that you get on the iPad is just like something that it is digitally produced, and it's just like, I don't know. It's like something like a feeling that I have with it that I just don't like in a printed version.
Sure.
Now, one thing that I do like really like been trying to change my perspective on is obviously, first of all, you get in a lot of these programs, a lot of these brushes that actually can duplicate like more of a watercolor brush kind of thing. So it's like, there was like, I believe like last time I was in, man, this is like 2 years ago already. We were at the Kaiserstadt convention in Aachen that like Andreas is doing, who is running or who's doing all the printing in TFC Europe. There was a guy that like produced like brushes for the iPad, for like the Procreate app, that like recreate like a watercolor brush. Sure. And when I saw it printed, I was like, fuck, this is gonna fuck me up, because like this is like really, you could not tell like the difference. I am all about productivity, right? Or productivity, it doesn't matter if you do 1 flash sheets or 100 flash sheets, right? Like if you are getting out of your like normal, like daily, like habits, like of just like, you know, aimlessly watching Netflix or scrolling or Instagram or anything like that, and you're taking the time to just like draw and be productive on the iPad rather than with a paintbrush or and paper and all of that, I changed my mind on that to where I am like, okay, props to you, because you produced something, right? You produced something, you did something that you were proud of, that you can show your clients and all of that. I still am like a little bit like, all right, we're not going to print it, but we started offering like digital downloads of our flash, because it is like one thing that if you're a traveling artist and you have like the digital flash on your iPad, you can still bring it along. Whereas like, how the fuck, like, so one of the ideas that I have with Tattoo Flash Collective is like in the summer months, I wanted to just like print out our whole catalog and put it in like a friend of mine, like a good friend of mine, client, he gave me a Built-Well bag for a tattoo, you know, tip and all of that. And I was like, bingo, that's like fits all the flash books in there. And I'm just going to go on a motorcycle, on a thing, ride to Maine, go to some tattoo shops, show them stuff and all of that. If I do a guest spot, I can bring my tattoo flash. Motherfucker, 2,000 pieces of flash to bring with you is a lot.
Sure.
Rather than bringing an iPad, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I get the function of the iPad, and if it makes you being more productive, because it's like I talk to like tattooers, like tattooers that have kits and all of that are like, dude, I just don't have time to like sit down and paint on a piece of paper. Rather, like I can sit on the couch with my kids and I can paint on the iPad and I still produce something. That is better than not producing anything at all, in my thing. So I changed my mind as far as that goes. The problem with myself and the iPad is that I feel like I'm losing touch a little bit with the soul of like the whole like designing process. And I am not strong enough that if I have the iPad in front of me, it's still a screen. It's like only one click away from like the whole FOMO, the fear of missing out, being like, oh, let me check Instagram real quick, you know? Then you have 4 freaking profiles on Instagram. So it's like I can check my motorcycle profile. I can check my private profile. I can check my fucking Tattoo Flash Collective, Tattoo Flash Collective Europe. Being like, it's too much. It's too much of like a... It's almost like being like, yo, you're trying to stay away from a certain thing that like is taking up too much time. You can't have that shit in front of you all the time, right? Like if you constantly have the iPad in front of you to draw your designs out, to paint on and all of that, myself, I am not strong enough to not click that Facebook button or not click that fucking like whatever button kind of thing. So I've been trying to just like really like when I come home, turn the phone on like don't disturb, turn the iPad away and just actually like not be like distracted by it. So it's like my biggest problem with the iPad is that like there's way too many distractive. Because Pornhub is only one fucking Google search away. So like, you know.
So you kind of made your stance clear on as far as Flash goes. But what about just like drawing designs for clients for tattoos?
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It's like because
I see Dan
down.
Like, Dan is so nasty with that shit. Like, but I think we said this on the last one. As long as you already have the basics, like if you can draw and you can paint and you can do all that, it's a tool that's worthwhile. But if you can't do those other things, start with those first. Learn the fundamentals before you get on the fucking iPad. But like as far as like, because you know how customers are, like clients are, like, oh, can you change this and this? Like with the iPad, like I see Dan just like, okay, and it's done. You know what I mean?
That's like undoubtedly, it's like it's impossible to get around the fact that like the iPad is like, because like, you know, all the back pieces that are designed and all of that, like you saw like Packers like back piece like being like, hey, if he was like, hey, I want that rose like a little bigger, I would like on paper I would have to be like, fuck,
and redraw the whole thing.
Redraw it. Like the rose needs to be 10% bigger. It's like, copy like fucking 6 different pieces, tie them together, make it bigger, being like, fuck, I'm 5% too big.
Yeah.
For that.
And you got like an hour into it. Yeah.
Hands down, like the iPad is like absolutely amazing. I think that depending on the style, I think I can definitely see with designs, and this depends on like the tattoo style, right? Like I can definitely see if it's like been laid out on an iPad versus like if it's actually been drawn. I do like the iPad for like your initial layouts because like you just import a freaking back piece of a person, you take a picture of a person, you can directly see how like it fits,
maps out,
where like your compositions and all of that need to be. I do a really rough sketch on that, and then I still, after that process, I go back to paper. Like my final 2-3 drawings are on paper.
Yeah.
But it's like the more I'm getting used to the iPad and the more like tricks somebody is showing me, the more I'm like, all right, this is definitely a tool that makes it easier, right? It is kind of like really silly. It's like, I am not against it because a lot of times I feel that like we're against certain things or certain progressions because we're not used to those kind of progressions, right?
Or it goes against
like,
tradition or whatever.
Yeah, tradition. But it's like being like, it's like silly to say that like the old tattooers from back in the days were not going to use these products because it makes it so much easier, right?
Yeah.
Like in like fixing a motorcycle, you're getting the newest tools to like make your job easier instead of saying like being like, oh, I'm using this old tool from 1940s because that's the way that it is. Fuck no. It is like sometimes about productivity, you know, like being like, yo, I can do this thing faster with this new nail gun instead of like actually hitting like the fucking nail in there all the time. So it's like, that's like being like the stubbornness sometimes of like being like, oh, we want to hold on to tradition. We want to like keep it. Being like the iPad is absolutely fucking amazing to it. You know, the iPad is like keeping people productive, like people that haven't been drawing in a long time, being tattooer or no tattooer, you know. Tasha sometimes grabs my iPad and see us just like doodling and see us just like being like productive. And it's like really nice to see to where like somebody is actually doing something like that rather than like sitting, you know, like doing nothing at all or something like that. You know, like any kind of person is just like being like, you know, if this is making it easier, absolutely fucking use it. You know, if it makes your tattoos better, if it makes your tattoo process like more fun, all of that, use it, because that is a tool that we will never see disappear out of like the tattoo world, like in my opinion. No. It is just like so like convenient. It is so fucking amazing. One thing though that is like really funny in the tattooing is like one of the last conventions that I did, somehow like the Bluetooth or the wireless kind of thing didn't work. And all the people that were like working on the iPad couldn't like make stencils anymore, you know? And then the old school people that were still like drawing it, they could actually still like do the papers and
they
all
were making
that,
money,
you know? They were like
to know both.
Bingo, motherfucker. You know, it's like if technology like fails you, you still have to go back to the old ways, you know? But like if I don't think I will ever want to have an apprentice, but if I ever would have it, I would introduce like the iPad in there because it's unavoidable. Like the pros like outlive the cons at any time on the iPad.
But when would you introduce it? After they already had a foundation in fundamental drawing?
100%. 100%. I would just like, because like tracing the same Sailor Jerry Rose for like 50 times, right? If you're like starting to tattoo or want to learn how to tattoo, trace that motherfucking Sailor Jerry Rose 50 times. It is just like muscle memory at that point. Like being like, if you get that muscle memory on that paper, you feel that like a little bit more than on the iPad. I think that like in many ways being like, if you don't know the old ways of like doing it, you will never like progress like by starting directly on the iPad. The question is just like, how far do you go back? Because like if you learn how to tattoo today, do you have to learn how to solder a needle? Yeah. I mean, it is tradition of like doing it. It is good to know, but you will never have to fucking solder
ever
a needle
again.
again. Not ever. I mean, there is like absolutely
so many
no
motherfuckers using cartridges and shit.
Like, you never have to fucking solder a needle again, you know? Do you want to know more about like your tattoo machines on how to build and how to bend springs and all of that? These days, it's all like rotary, like little motors and all of that, you know? It's like all that you need to know is like how to like unscrew like 3 or 4 things, put a new fucking motor in there, put it back together. Yeah. That's kind of it, you know? It's like being like, I think it's like good if you have the interest in it, maybe like in like motorcycle stuff too. It's like it being like, if you're interested in it, in the history of it, it is good. But this stuff that I'm going to teach you today is never going to fucking like happen again. Yeah. If you're interested in it, learn it because it's important to know where things came from. But like, we live in today, man. Like being like, you know, like just like being like the iPad is never going to go. Cartridges never going to go. Those machines that look like fucking dildos, never fucking going to go, you know? And they work for people being like, in a way, like, don't you think that at one point being like, if you fix my motorcycle, right? And like, if I'm telling you like, hey, I want to fucking have a chopper built and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to complain that you use like a tool that was made in 2010 rather than 1940, you know? It's like, I care about the end product and about something that like makes you more like productive and like makes your job like easier, you know? So if the end product of like a tattoo is like good, a client doesn't care if it was done with a dildo machine or like a tattoo machine that was built in 1940 or something like that, you know?
What do you use? Are you still using coil machines or are you on rotaries or?
I use both. I use like rotaries mainly for like shading and all of that. Just because I'm a disposable only shop. And like if you're a tattooer, you know, like the problems with disposables and the weight and like the plastic kind of like muffling the sound and all of that. Lining I do with like either a rotary or like a coil machine still, but shading it's all like rotary. It's like one of those things like you can't get past it anymore. It's like it's smooth. It's like not as painful. It's like the healing is faster. Like I have it dialed down. So I did get like one of those dildo machines, and I want to like it because it's like amazing.
Explain
but
for,
it's like
for people that might not be involved in the tattoo industry. Explain what a dildo machine is.
All right, so imagine your dildo.
Assuming you have a dildo.
Well, you've seen one, no matter if you have a dildo or not. Like it's kind of like being like you've seen a dildo before. It's almost like a pen style machine. So imagine like a pen that is like an inch in diameter, thickness, and that holds like a cartridge. And a cartridge is just like basically the tip when it has the needle in there already. It's like an enclosed like kind of like membrane. So it's like a cleaner kind of like thing. Supposedly those machines are able to do anything from like a 5 mag to a 15 mag or 25 mag to like a 1 liner to a like a fucking 14 liner. Supposed to be able to do everything. It is like a different, it's a motor driven one instead of a coil, like kind of like driven one. So it gives a different feel to it. I think that if I take like 2 or 3 weeks only with that machine, I will have it dialed in to what I like. It is just 2-3 weeks of struggling of like doing the tattoos
that you don't need to do because you have your other machines dialed in.
And I have I have too many machines to know. And it's also, it's like sometimes funny when you grab like that coil machine back to where it's like loud and it's like you can't hear your client because like you're fucking deaf because of the bussing. It's like fucking blue sparks are flying fucking everywhere. You know, it's like dirty. The coil wrap is all like full of fucking green and purple ink and all of that kind of fucking shit. Soon, though, we don't have like blue and fucking green ink anymore. Did you hear about that?
No, what happened?
So in Europe, they're trying to ban by like next year, I believe, they're trying to ban like blue 15 and green 7 or the other way around. It is, this is like interesting for you to actually research because it is actually the laser industry that like actually like brought this up. So I might mess some of these like details up and all of that, right?
Just to get the gist.
So just to get the gist.
This is literally my first time hearing this.
So it's really interesting. So like some of these like pigments are seen as like not seen, like they have like a certain amount of like I think either nickel or like some kind of cancerous like possibility to it. So whenever you tattoo, you like get it in the skin, it capsulates it so it's like little scar tissue, and that's how it holds, right? So the way that I was like explained to it, and again, I might be wrong in this, so like please contact us if I'm wrong, but it's like whenever you put like a green pigment in there, see as each little pigment particle as like a baseball or like a basketball, right? Like whenever you do like the lasering process, like it is like really quick going from a basketball, you like kind of burst it into like little like golf ball size, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the second time that you hit it, it goes from balls like golf ball size to like marble size, which at that point it is small enough to go into your system.
Yeah, your body
and
absorbs
like
it, flushes it out.
Basically absorbs it. So whenever that happens, when your body absorbs it, that's like when they're saying that it releases like a content that is equal to a cup of coffee or half a walnut fucking like thing of like a substance that which could be cancerous. Now, with lasering, it goes like a lot quicker, right? Like in the natural process, by going into like thing, it is really small and really like thing.
The natural breakdown.
The natural breakdown is really small. In lasering, it's a little faster.
Yeah.
All that they tested was like on a 30 by 30 centimeter kind of like tattoo, which is really not your average size tattoo, right? No. We all know that the average size tattoo is 2 inches by 2 inches, maybe, you know? Yeah. So 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters, I don't know exactly the inches, but that's a pretty fucking big tattoo. That's a pretty decent size tattoo that you're getting, right? It releases like
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah. It releases about a cup of coffee of like in your body that like could like potentially be cancerous, which is so ridiculous.
11.8 inches. So
12
by 12.
12 by 12, which is like ridiculous, right? And how many fucking cups of coffee do you have a day?
Yeah.
So this is something that is like starting to come up to where they want to ban this motherfucking shit because they do not. People more and more are going to say like being like, oh, you know, if I don't like this tattoo, I just get it lasered. Being like, first of all, that is not the truth. That is not like a lot of people that just like think like that. No. Second of all, if you do the lasering,
I'd be a rich man if a lot of people if a lot more people thought like that.
Hell yeah. And it's like, so it's this whole lobbying thing, like where they're trying to ban this like ink. So it's like green and blue. They're trying to ban because it potentially could be
or just a specific one.
All like, well, blue 15 and green 7 or the other way around, right? And then like they had like just like a talk about that because this is a big thing in Europe now. And Mario Bart, like that does intense like ink, he was on because he's from like Switzerland or Australia. And they're trying to like kind of like get back on this and get enough like signatures in there to just like ban this because next thing is up is like blue or like blue and green is there. Then it's going to be brown, which means that brown like turns into like your red pigment, and they're gonna like try and ban all these fucking pigments, right?
That's crazy.
Which is just absolutely insane to where the FDA is actually fucking looking in that now to where it's not uncommon to where they're like trying to see it. And these like numbers are absolutely so freaking ridiculous that like the same amount of like content you get in a cup of coffee motherfuckers are drinking more than a cup of coffee, because a cup of coffee in Europe is way fucking smaller than a cup of coffee in the fucking United States too, you know?
A large Dunk's fucking iced coffee, yeah.
So it's absolutely
400
insane
ounces.
that they're just like trying, it seems like they're trying to just like attack the tattoo industry, that just like these like small little like subcultures to just like kind of like save people from making mistakes on their body. It is my fucking choice if I want to have a shitty tattoo on me or not, right? Like, it is not the government's fucking like responsibility.
Government is not
to
your
look
parents.
into it.
The government is not your parents.
Yep.
Like, you're an adult, you can make choices.
Being like, you want a shitty tattoo? Get a shitty tattoo. The government being like, I agree with like health department coming in, making sure that everything is like
You
done
want to make
right
sure you're not going to get
that.
fucking you're not going to get fucking tetanus or fucking some shit. You know
Exactly.
What I mean?
But if you have a shitty design, that is up to you, man. You should have done your research on the fucking like tattooer. You know, like you do not have.
You
to
know
fucking
that
like
comes
ban
into a
that
problem
shit.
today with customers that you see everyone's price shopping. No one's coming in and saying, "Can I see this guy's book? Can I see your books? Can I see like everyone's just how much for this or how much for this? You know what I mean? And it's like, fuck you. That's not the question you should be asking. You should be like, can I see your portfolio? You know what I mean?
That's like
can I see your body of work?
It's like almost like being like with as many phone calls that we would get.
But that comes down to just
shop, you know?
people
It's
are
like being
basic ass motherfuckers nowadays, and we're getting what we deserve because too many motherfuckers are basic ass motherfuckers.
But in the tattoo world too, it's like an hourly rate. What is an hourly rate? Because like, let's say like fucking Tattoo Johnny fucking like right there and Tattoo Peter right there. Tattoo Johnny takes 3 hours to do the same tattoo that Tattoo Johnny takes fucking like in like an hour and a half. One charges $100 an hour, which sounds a lot more appealing to a lot of people. Whereas like I am charging $180 an hour, but I can do that tattoo in an hour. Whereas fucking Homeboy does it in 3 hours.
Yeah.
3 hours costs you $300 where I would have charged you $180 fucking dollars, you know? So it's like being like, it's like, do your fucking research, but like being like, the government does not need to fucking like interfere in that thing.
No.
It is my fucking mistake to make. It is my mistake to get a fucking like tattoo that I do not like. It is my choice to fucking like remove it if I want to or cover it up if I want to, you know? This is like where government interfering is.
And this is
way
where
too
all the
much.
people that are my body, my choice should be chiming in, you know what I mean? Because this is the same type of shit, you know, but on a way less extensive scale, you know? So.
Yeah. I gotta really piss.
All right. So, while he is going to take a urination break, I just want to take this the chance to say thank you to everybody that supported this podcast over the last year. 50 episodes deep. Didn't think it was going to get this far. Looking forward to the next 50 episodes. You can check us out at bigtruthpodcast.com. If you got any show input or anything you want to see on here, you can just shoot me an email at bigtruthpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to support the show financially, check us out at Big Truth Podcast. Patreon.com/Big Truth Podcast. And there's 4 different sponsorship opportunities for the general public there and to become a patron. And I think on our website, we have a place where you could like Venmo or something, a donation. Everything is greatly appreciated. I want to thank all the guests that have come on. We've had some crazy shows, man, like and some awesome shows. And, everyone's been awesome. I've learned new things on every episode. I can't wait to do the next 50 and learn even more shit. Johannes is a good friend of mine. I'm learning new shit right now about fucking inks being fucking potentially banned and whatnot. Like, this is industry shit, man. It's important. But it's not only industry shit, it's government intervention shit. Like, we need the government out of our lives, like, as much as possible. They overstep constantly. And I'm not saying we don't need roads or defense or basic fucking services. I'm just saying when they encroach into your daily life, it's way fucking too much. And you need to stop making a stand against that shit because it's getting to a ridiculous point. Johannes is back, and I think it's about time to reach back into this bag of tasty nips.
I got rid of some fucking liquid. We'll put new liquid back in there.
There you go. Yeah.
Man. So, but yeah, like I might have like some of like the information wrong on like the thing, but if you're a tattooer and you're like interested in that, please like research it because it is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, or if you're a tattoo removal person, yeah.
Or tattoo removal person, yeah. It's like very important.
If they start
kind of
saying
thing.
you can't remove blue and green inks, then that turns into a big thing.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
most tattoos are black, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
but whatever.
Cheers. I have
Let's
a wild grape McGillicuddy's.
Wild grape. I just got a regular menthol, peppermint, whatever.
But yeah, it's a very interesting kind of subject to where this is like where like interference gets like too much and like being like they need to do way more research before they freaking like put any of these like
or
like
guess what? Or they don't need to be
like,
involved in shit. You know what I mean? Like unless it is something that's like really causing cancer, but I haven't heard of that ever until just now.
No, it's like I said, I think like a 12-inch by 12-inch tattoo is like the amount of like a cup of coffee. It's like we all consume within like freaking just a morning like kind of ritual. Yeah. So it's like absolutely something that the body can take care of. So it's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
The only
is like where
the only color I won't remove is white.
Why is that?
Because white has iron oxide in it, and if you hit it with a laser, sometimes it turns like a reddish brown and it rusts.
Okay.
And then it gets really hard to get rid of. But luckily, white usually fades the quickest. And by the time they come to remove it, usually the white is gone. If not, I just don't even get near the white.
Yeah. So now, since you're in the laser removal, right? How many of your clients are actually seeking to remove their tattoo completely rather than lightening it up to like be able to cover it up?
I don't know. It's, probably like 60% want to totally remove it and 40% are lightening it to cover.
Okay. So still like a pretty large amount.
Yeah. Okay. But a lot of it, it's like I got 3 types of customers, right? I got people that need to remove things for employment or military, like they're going into the military. That's actually a lot.
Really?
Yeah. And then I got the names and the wedding bands, which is an unfortunate one. And then just people who have old shit that they want to remove or lighten up and get covered up with new shit. Yep. And I literally thought I was going to see way more like fucking horrible tattoos. But most of the tattoos I remove were actually decent tattoos or decent, some are awesome. I'm like, damn, dude, I don't really even want to remove this. I actually had one guy that had World War II. He was a World War II vet and he had sweet and sour. He had OG sweet and sour tattoos on his chest. I was like, I'm not getting rid of those, dude. And it was like his chick who was like 65. She was younger than him. That he that was his young chick. You know what I mean? And she was trying to push him to get rid of it. I'm like, why are you pushing this guy to get rid of these fucking tattoos at this stage in life? He's had them, for fucking 60 years. Like, leave him alone.
This is like fucking awesome. I have like some clients that are asking like, like with old tattoos like that, where they're like, hey, can you just like retouch them up, like make them new? And I'm like, don't. This is the way that tattooing is, man. It's like, it's so beautiful. It has like so much life to it. It is like freaking, it earned its way of the way that it looks. It's like a fucking 45-year-old tattoo, It's like, don't redo it,
Yeah.
It's like, I will never be able to recreate the way that this tattoo looks. It's like, it looks amazing. If you're really unhappy with it, we can talk about it, but like, I would like highly suggest you keep this tattoo. Leave the tattoo. And a lot of times when they hear that, they are actually starting to be proud of their tattoo.
They get excited,
again, being like, motherfucker, you got this thing in 1960s. That's awesome, dude.
This dude
that's amazing.
This dude got his tattoos in Hawaii in the 40s, in 45 or whatever. Like, I was like, dude, I'm not getting rid of that tattoo. Like, I was like, can I take pictures of it?
Yeah.
I took pictures, you know what I mean? Because I was like, dude, not many World War II vets are still around kicking and that have like the old, like, real deal fucking military fucking tattoos.
And a lot of times I feel that, like, I don't know if you see it too, but like when you tell them that, like when you're like fucking saying, it's like being like, dude, this is an awesome tattoo. This is how tattooing is. Like any tattoo that we do today,
history, dude. Like,
45 years from now, that's how the tattoos are going to look. That's just how it is. Keep it the way it is, man. That is like fucking like awesome. That has some life to it, That is like the wrinkles on your fucking face. You fucking deserve those, It's like being like, no amount of fucking Botox, no amount of fucking like reworking the fucking shit is going to make this fucking amazing.
I don't get that
Just
shit,
fucking
man.
Keep it, man.
People look like fucking fake plastic mannequins when they get too much plastic surgery. That's literally got to be like a fucking, someone has some kind of like mental disorder. And I'm not saying that like in a judgy way, but like, how can you think when you get so much plastic surgery that it looks good? Like, you look fucking crazy. Like, you look like a fucking crazy mannequin that's come to life.
It's that crazy, right? Because like, have you ever seen that like movie? Like it was like a documentary kind of movie. It was like a body modification documentary, and it was like really nice because it didn't really touch only on like tattooing and all of that. It like reached into like kind of like bodybuilding and piercing and Botox and like plastic surgery. It is just a way of modifying your body to a way that you're happier with, right?
Yeah, yeah.
To me, it's just more like being like, man, like, I don't know. I like being like, fuck yeah, I got black circles around my fucking face, my fucking eyes because I work my fucking ass off.
I own my own business, motherfucker. This is
being like, yo, I'm trying to put fucking hemorrhoid cream around my fucking eyes to get rid of the fucking bags and the fucking circles.
There is a fucking exclusive. Johannes puts hemorrhoid cream on his fucking eyeballs to get rid of his bags.
Not my eyeballs, my bag is like under my eyes. It actually does fucking work because obviously it's a fucking steroid, right? But on the other way, it's like being like, yo, man, you can't stop the fucking aging process, man. Like,
which hemorrhoid
like whatever.
What hemorrhoid cream do you use?
Preparation H, homeboy. You know, you get them little fucking baggies, like they're little like fucking like Preparation H wipes. You put them in the freezer. I'm telling you, anybody that listens to this, you know, just like you should fucking try pineapple on a fucking pizza to just figure out if you like it. Before you bust my fucking, like, you know, chops and, like, fucking judge me, get some Preparation H wipes, put them in the freezer, sit on your fucking couch.
Order a pineapple pizza.
Order a pineapple pizza. Put them fucking, like, little things on your fucking eyes. Smoke some fucking weed. You're going to fucking love it. You're going to be all like fucking, you're going to look like 16-year-old. Your fucking partner is all going to be like, yo, man, you want to fucking shag it up? Like fucking Preparation H wipes on your fucking eyes. What's up?
You know, and it also works on your stink balloons. But yeah, I don't know.
How did we get there?
I don't know. Like you just come with some shit, man. I don't know. I'm actually a little speechless.
I got some weird shit going on in my brain sometimes.
But honestly, dude, I've noticed because like the stress of running businesses, especially through COVID, like I can see, like I can understand the presidents when they come in and they got all dark hair, but they leave 4 years later and they got grays. Like the grays on the side of my beard are just coming in like there's no control in it anymore. I'm just like, there's been some nights where I can't even sleep. I'm so stressed out and shit, and it's like. I just wake up and I can just see more patches of fucking gray that like sprung out overnight. But
do you smoke weed or not? I don't even know if you actually.
No, not really, not regularly, or like I get contact high from Dan like on the regular. You know what I mean? Because Dan's like nonstop smoking weed. Yeah. But and if we go anywhere, like a lot of times when we travel, like me and Dan go together, and it's like he's just smoking the whole time. So I get a little contact highs. I can't do edibles. Because edibles, I have like fucking, like I get like full fucking psychoactive, like fucking, or not psycho, I get full psychedelic experiences from like edibles.
Really?
Like, it's fucking crazy.
I wish I did.
They hit me so hard. Like for instance, when me and Dan were flying to Mexico City the last time for the Amanopla show, and this was like 2 years ago. He was like, dude, take this before we get on the flight. I was like, all right, cool. And, I guess it was like 100 milligram.
Fuck, that's a lot.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is all my friends do smoke a lot of weed, so they think you have the same tolerance. So yeah, just take this little fucking thing. And so
it's just a little bit, man. It's an afternoon kick, like fucking afternoon pick me up.
I took it before we went through security. Like getting through security, I was starting to sweat, and I was like, dude, this is already kicking in. It was like 15 minutes. I was like, this shit supposed to take like an hour? By the time we got to the gate, I couldn't even move. I was sitting down, and luckily we had like an hour. You know what I mean? I was looking at my hands, and you remember the AHA video, Take On Me?
No.
Where they turned into cartoons, and there was like squiggly lines everywhere. No. I was looking at my hands, and it looked like that. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I don't think I can get on the plane, dude. Like, I can't even move. And he's like, dude, you're fucked up. And he went, and he got me, he's like, you need to eat something. And he went and got me like cashews or something. He's like, you need to eat something fatty or something to kind of...
Coffee, actually, I believe, like it.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know.
Into it.
I tried for about 35 minutes to get one cashew into my mouth and could not fucking do it, dude. And he was like, dude, you were like white and sweaty and like so fucked up. And I was like in a different universe. And like, I know by the time we were supposed to get on the plane, like I was like, I thought I was like being smooth, like trying to board the plane. I was like, yeah, man, blah, blah, blah. But I know I probably looked like Hunter Thompson checking into the hotel on Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, like all weird walking and fucking weird. And we got on the plane and I sat down and I was in the aisle seat. And then someone needed to get in, and it like literally took me like 2 minutes to get up. I was like, I don't know how to get up right now. Like I couldn't even figure out how to do it, dude. I was so fucked up. But what I will say, once we were in the air, I passed out and I woke up in Mexico.
See, that's like,
but I had such a weed hangover the next day. If you've ever had an edible weed hangover,
it's horrible.
It's just as bad as a fucking drunk hangover.
Yeah.
Like so, the whole next day I was useless. I was like, ugh.
It's like funny because like anytime like I hear somebody talking about like these kind of like experiences, it like fucking makes me like just laugh. It's like so funny, but it's like once you're in it, it really fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But like especially during this pandemic or in these last couple of years, you know, it's like being like when we were like, or at least when I was like young and in like hardcore bands and all of that, like being straight edge, like I didn't experience with any kind of drugs.
Yeah.
Which like actually helped me a lot because
I was
think
straight
that,
edge still.
like,
I was 30, dude. Yeah. So,
yeah,
you know.
I think I was like straight edge till I was like 27 or something, like 26, 27.
Yeah.
And I think that like actually helped me a lot, right? Because I jumped over those like experimental kind of fucking years.
The years
like,
where you could
it's,
really
like,
get
being,
trapped.
like, really fucked. Like, you know, it's like being like, I don't have an addictive personality, which I'm like really lucky with.
Yeah, me too.
But it's like now I'm just like, I'm really trying to like open my mind a little bit more into like being like, all right, you know, mental issues are like a big thing, right? Like especially into like this whole pandemic and all of that. So it's like being like, I've been experiencing with like mushrooms, never did fucking mushrooms, right?
Yeah.
I fucking
Best things ever.
Dude, so man, like I think 2 years ago, I fucking took like some mushroom pills and all of that. And it was like right around Christmas, and Tasha was still in upstate New York, I think, like she was. Like she wasn't like living, like we weren't living together. She was like studying and all of that. And I wasn't sure how much I would take. So it's like obviously like, you know, take little and then like kind of like go your way up. There was like a Christmas parade of like fucking floats in Lynn, Massachusetts, where I live. And I was high on fucking mushrooms and I could see it from my house. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going downstairs. Dude, I had the best fucking thing.
Yeah.
I had the best fucking time ever. I was waving to fucking Santa and it was all these fucking colors. It was like, I was like, dude, this is the best fucking parade. Now, the town that I am fucking from has like a parade every fucking year, right? So in September, we have something like called like the Medica, and it's like 3 days of just like fucking just drinking as much as you can.
This is back
and
in,
it's like,
in
this
Friesland?
is back where I grew up. So I took Tasha there, and I took one or two of my friends from like the United States there too. And when we are talking about floats, I mean, this is like, man, like next time, like when I have my phone closed, I should like show you, because like these floats are like fucking crazy. Like we're like fucking doing like a float of like Jungle Book and like everybody's dressed up and all of that. It's like fucking insane, right? So I was like, oh, Christmas parade floats and like fucking Lynn, this is going to be awesome, you know? And I fucking took some mushrooms. It was like the happiest fucking I've been that year. It was like amazing, right? Yeah. So I wanted to like kind of like experience with that, and then just like more like with weed to calm down kind of my brain a little bit of like being like, it's like a constant kind of like gears turning.
Yeah, sure.
Like, what can I do? Blah, blah, blah. Going.
Just firing. Yeah.
So like weed like was definitely like one that like could calm me down. Kratom is another one, like, you know, that like I don't know if you've like ever tried Kratom or
isn't that
anything
like what people used to get off like heroin and shit?
Yeah, so it's like crazy. I might have like everything fucking mixed up because I am absolutely not somebody that like retains like any kind of like information, right? But like Kratom is like in the way that I experience Kratom, it's the best mixture of like Adderall and Percocets together. The more you take, the more fucked up you could possibly get, right? The more stronger it could be. Just like alcohol. If I have fucking one nip, I don't notice anything. If I have 10, I definitely fucking feel the effects, right? So with kratom, it's like kind of like the same thing, and it like really like there's a lot of like different kind of like strains in kratom, which could like lead to like a different kind of like feeling. It's a super good like antidepressant. It's like a super good like kind of motivational kind of booster. I have not touched any kind of like painkillers because I have like major back problems and I can just get like pain medication if I wanted to. I don't want to because I know too many people that got hooked on to like the pain medication.
Becomes a gateway to other shit.
I didn't want that, right? So it's like being like, but like these natural things like weed and kratom, like just have like expanded like my mind a little bit too, to where it actually like calms me down and it gets me like a little bit more like in touch with like kind of like myself and just like my artistic self and all of that. Kratom is awesome. Kratom is awesome. It's going to be banned by fucking FDA 100% in the next couple of years.
So stock up while you can, motherfuckers. Yeah.
Dude, like you can fucking buy a fucking 5-gallon bucket of fucking kratom powder for fucking like next to nothing, dude. Like
the convenience store near my house has all that shit. I'm like, I don't even know what this is. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
fucking amazing. It's like fucking awesome. It's like really fucking good. It's like like these like smooth kind of like thing to where it's just like it's kind of like your pick me up from like the day, you know. No matter what, I think from my straight edge like years and all of that, I just made sure that I am never getting like dependent on kind of anything.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So it's kind of like when we were like talking like mushrooms and all of that too. It's almost like your thing. It's like you 2 weeks on, 1 week off, 1 week on, 2 weeks off kind of like thing, you know. So I'm not getting used to it, but it's like freaking amazing. It's
When you talk about mushrooms, are you microdosing or are you doing like are you tripping? Or both?
I am interested in microdosing. I'm interested in microdosing because the tripping effect, I never had the tripping effect. The closest that I got was like that whole like fucking Christmas parade kind of thing. Yeah. But it still wasn't like to where like people are talking to me about like mushrooms where they see like things change and all of that. It was just an enhancement of colors. Like the purples were way more exactly fucking where strong. And it's like, it was really mild. It was almost like slightly higher than fucking stoned, but not like a mushroom trip of what I've like expected a mushroom trip to be.
Yeah, no, I've been there.
And it was the happiest like fucking like high that I had, to where I wouldn't mind trying like, I want to do more research and I want to pick your brain about like microdosing like a lot more. Like where
microdosing
like
you won't feel anything at all. Like you,
but it is an antidepressant kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
It's just you'll
feel better. You'll feel better, but you're not going to feel any like elevated like psychedelic effects. Like you're not going to see colors brighter or anything, unless you take too much. You know what I mean? And then you'll get into that realm. But by and large, what it does is affects your brain chemistry, where it kind of there's so many. The thing is, psychedelics is the next fucking frontier. Like weed becoming legal and everything has been one thing, but there is so much clinical evidence for the efficacy of psychedelics, specifically like psilocybin and MDMA and things, in relation to treating things like PTSD, anxiety, and depression and shit. Like so much overwhelming evidence that like I know it's gonna probably get suppressed by Big Pharma at some point. It's like, and now you see like kind of the writing on the wall, like where DC decriminalized it and Portland.
Wasn't it Oregon or Portland? Oregon,
like
right?
Yeah,
like they
everything's legal,
like
but like DC decriminalized psychedelics, and someplace else did. Denver did. And Massachusetts is up. There's legislation to decriminalize psychedelics. But once all these things, the problem is you can't. There's been a lot of like clinical, double-blind like studies on psychedelics, but it's still limited because there's still a Schedule I substance, so they're federally illegal and banned by the FDA. So if you can get that stigma off of them, then you can open up to way more research.
So didn't Massachusetts just sign something that like being like, I think that Tasha told me like 2 days ago that like Massachusetts like passed a bill that like any kind of drug offense is not like seen as like a definitely jail time anymore. And that like goes like
I gotta look into
I think too.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been like I go on cycles where I won't watch news or anything.
I don't
'cause
watch news
for
at all.
sanity. Like so, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm on an off cycle right now, just for mental sanity. But I know that was something that was coming through and that was proposed, and a guy I work out at the gym was talking about that. I can't speak to it. I don't know, but I know that they were talking about legislation to specifically decriminalize psychedelics in Massachusetts. I don't know if that's part of that bill or something else
like
happened.
did pass to where like you don't do directly jail time anymore for any kind of drug offense,
Well,
which
yeah,
is
that's like
massive,
anything, yeah,
right?
yeah,
like
yeah.
being like, but like the things with mushrooms to come back on
So
that.
the thing with
like,
drugs too is to get back to it, like to our basic conversation earlier, like the government's not your parent, and you know drugs can be something that enhances things for you or can be bad, and that comes down to personal responsibility,
But that's
personal
alcohol too,
accountability,
right?
and
I
alcohol.
mean,
Alcohol, like, dude,
It's an
I'd rather
accepted drug,
I'd rather
but-
have so many people driving around stoned than fucking drunk. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and it all comes down to community standards and what lobby kind of like put the fear of God into people about different drugs and this and that. Like, I'm not into shit like heroin or like heavy drugs. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, like, and I've never tried any of that. I have no intention on it. You know what I mean? But you know, I'm not going to say someone else can't do that. You know what I mean? And then, but you have to be, you know, to live in a free society, you need to be able to accept the consequences of your actions.
Yeah.
And so, like, the government's not here to be anyone's fucking parent. If you want to fucking do heroin and be a fucking shitbag, okay, but you do shitbag shit and you get caught for it, you're going to do shitbag time. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever, you know what I mean? Or you want to overdose and you're going to fucking die. You know what I mean? And I don't know, like, I don't want to be callous or cold, but like, I'm not in control of anybody else, and I don't want to be. Like, and I don't want the government to tell me what to do or not what to fucking do. And it comes down to simple things like that. We're adults, we can make fucking decisions.
Well, and that's like I agree with you.
But there should be
many
help
points.
available
Exactly.
if someone needs it, if they get to a point where it's out of control.
And that's like where like heroin and all of that like gets like a little dangerous, right? And that's like why I am not interested in those kind of drugs, right? Like,
But I'm also
more
not interested in outlawing them.
Thing.
Yeah,
It's
I'm not
like-
interested in those drugs, but I'm also not interested in outlawing them because it's not my thing.
Neither
like,
me.
Like,
No.
you know, and when you come down to any issue like abortion, I'm not interested. Like, I don't think abortion should be used as a first wave of birth control.
But
I'm not
very few
against it.
people do it too.
No,
like,
yeah,
as
but I'm
like
not
a first
against it,
thing.
and I'm not against legislating people's right against it. Like, get into like super late term gets a little weird. You know what I mean? Like when it is a kid and it's not like a fucking little peanut or a fucking blob, you know, that gets a little weird to me. And I'm not coming from some any weird Christian background or any weird conservative, just like from basic fucking humanity standpoint, you know what I mean? But I am not like awesome. Like, fuck yeah. Let's celebrate abortions. But I'm not for outlawing it either. Like, it should be there and it should be an option for people if they need it. You know what I mean? But there should be way more education to avoid having to get to that point where you need it. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the thing. It's like being like, yo, instead of like having to like get people to detox and all of that kind of stuff, it's like being like the help should be around, the information should be around, right? It's like being like, politically, I am like way more on the right and a socialist kind of thing to where it's like, I don't think that in Europe I would directly be seen as a socialist, but like in like America, I have like a little bit more socialistic standpoint.
That's more left.
Like, sure.
You said right. Right is more conservative.
All right. Well,
But it doesn't matter. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So
You fucking commie fuck.
Wait,
Get off my
left,
show.
right? Yeah.
Get off my show, you commie fuck.
So it's like,
kidding.
but like with anything like kratom and weed and mushrooms and all of that, I think it's like a good thing for people to experiment on these kind of like things. And it's like, how many people, like for instance, like when I did like those mushrooms to where it was like, all right, maybe this is definitely a little bit stronger than like the microdosing kind of thing to where you don't feel anything. This was 2 years ago, and I haven't had the need or the feeling to do this again, right? Like, and that's like for me kind of like the nice thing to where it's like being like, yo, every now and then you just kind of like gotta get in touch with your inner self and just like your your feelings and just like kind of like get back to like a certain base to where you feel like thing. And that's like where I fucking love like mushrooms. That's where I love like kratom is maybe a daily kind of thing because I don't overdo it or anything like that too.
Yeah,
but with like
I really got to look more into that
because fucking thing helps as well, you know?
I've never read up too much on kratom, but I'll look into that.
I think it's called kratom.
Yeah, it's Kratom. I've seen it. I know what you're talking about.
I fucking am not going to say kratom because sounds like Tarjay instead of Target. Being like, no.
But whatever, we know what we're talking. Words, symbols, if you know what the symbol is, you can fucking decode it. But I mean, what I will say from psychedelic experiences, like I've microdosed and you feel better. And I've helped people who with microdosing who've got off like hardcore pharmaceutical antidepressants by substituting it with microdosing.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm all for anything, and I'm not on some hippy dippy woo woo shit. Like I am all for anything that is natural over pharmaceutical. Like, and if it works,
100%.
If it works, because there's a lot of bullshit woo woo fucking herbal fucking stupid shit out there, and there's a lot of legitimate shit too. Like, so but I'm just saying, you got to be an educated person, and again, be responsible for your own actions, right? And do your own research. But what I will say is, I've felt better, nothing better, and I'm guilty of not microdosing anymore. I got to get back to doing that, and I've been like where you were. I just took a little bit more than a microdose. Like over the summer, the gym was closed, and I was hiking every day instead of going to the gym. And I took a little too much, and I had a broken toe at the time. And all of a sudden, I was like, oh, I don't feel my toe. And I was like, oh, look at that. The colors, looks good. Listen, I can hear the birds better. Like, what the fuck's going on? And I was like, oh, fuck, I took too much. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It was just like a hit. You know what I mean? I was like, God damn it. And then I've had one big, huge, fucking dimensional, life-changing fucking trip on mushrooms. And literally, I think everyone should go that. Unless you have like a severe psychotic disorder or like schizophrenic or something,
where it could go the
you need to stay away
reaction.
From that. But it's just a known thing. Psychedelics, if you're schizophrenic, you need to stay away from it. It's just sorry, that's just what it is. Your brain chemistry is not going to fucking work. It's going to be bad. But maybe not in every case, but enough where it's a known thing. But literally, I had a life-changing fucking event on mushrooms, like full interdimensional, like fucking crazy. Like I felt like I was somewhere else. Like, and we don't need to get into it on this. Like I tell you about it off, whatever. Or we can get into this some other time. But whatever, you know what I mean. And I feel like everyone should do that at least once, because with those. Like literally the first hour, I was just laughing my ass off. I was the happiest I've ever been in my life. Yeah. I was by myself. I was home, and I just happened to have like a free afternoon, and I was like, fuck it. You know what I mean? And I took...
Don't they say that those like kind of like when you had like that kind of experience that it actually stays into your system for quite a while as well, right? Like being like that, like... Obviously, you're not freaking like tripping or anything that, but the antidepressant,
the well-being,
like things,
the sense of
well-being, kind of like the happy and being down to earth kind of thing, and like coming back to like kind of like putting your feet back on the ground and just getting in touch with like nature. And it's like sounds all hippy dippy, right? Like when I was like younger, I was like, fuck this hippie shit, fuck the weed, fuck this, fuck that. Too. But it's like being like, I wish that I would have opened up a lot sooner to this kind of thing. With weed, one of my friends like that I worked with in San Diego, Mark Merchant, who has a tattoo shop in a private studio, and I think it's in fucking Dallas, Texas now. But he always says that as just humans in general, but especially as like artists, like tattooers and all of that, sometimes you get that just like the creativity block, like a writer block, I don't know what it's called, like with like when you're being artistic, but it's just like you kind of like just need to get it. He was like he always like advocated for like it's very important to just like every now and then just like get in touch back with yourself. If you're in a fucking good place, do mushrooms, do MDMA, do something to where you really get back into like your true self and like just appreciate certain things and can see things in a different way to like where like now especially it's like with like everything as far as social media, and it's like being like our brains are like we're like what's the attention span now? Like fucking 30 seconds or something like that. It's like fucking insane. My attention span is like fucking 30 seconds before fucking social media already. So now it's even fucking less, right? My brain is going a million miles an hour. So it's like being like experienced with some of these things that like being like every now and then it really feels to being like, okay, what's important fucking in life and what's important to me? What's important to me obviously might not be important to you.
Sure, yeah.
But like some of these things can like really fucking help and really like see kind of like the true, really like understand you as a a person kind of like thing,
Sure.
you know, like,
and even if you don't get that deep with it, where you don't have any life-changing events, your general sense of well-being will be boosted and restored. And that's
I know with microdosing, right?
Yeah,
like,
and I need that, you know what I mean? Because I know I've been stressed lately and fucking pissed off and flying off the handle pretty fucking, as you saw when I threatened to shoot that guy earlier today. You know what I mean? Like,
I was like, fuck yeah, America, let's go shoot something. Like, you know.
And whatever, you know what I mean? So it's just, you know, whatever, man. But it's not, those are not bad things. And like, you know, obviously, you know, we drink and have fun and stuff, but like, I find that things like weed and psychedelics, like, to me, I'm more preferable over alcohol, even though I don't use them as much as alcohol. You know what I mean? But it's just like,
well, but that's also maybe because alcohol is like a little bit more readily available.
yeah, you go out
like
for a drink, you don't go out and fucking fucking eat a mouthful of shrooms and fucking go on a 5-hour fucking adventure, you know?
That's like why I'm happy that weed is like legal now, and regardless that the taxing is like fucking crazy on it, but like I've come to the conclusion for myself that it's like being like, if I need to pay 20% of taxes to remain weed to be legal in this state, I am okay with that. I am okay with the fact that it's like being like, because the stigma of like fucking weed to take away by making it legal and the taxes, it's like being like, it saved freaking certain states in this fucking pandemic, being like everybody's fucking smoking weed.
Or if you're a more educated consumer, you get better shit on the black market cheaper, just saying.
Hell yeah, you do. So it's like being like, I'm like, yo, if I don't get it on the black market, I just get it like freaking from like a dispensary. The option is there, right?
No, I get it.
And it's like for like you and me, it's like being like, okay, we do have the means to get it somewhere else, but like for like anybody that like doesn't want to buy it off the fucking street or anything that, it's like amazing like how far America has like come already with that.
Yeah,
and I'm
like,
very proud of America for that, because it's like being like,
and this is from a motherfucker that lives in the Netherlands, where Amsterdam used to be the main capital of tourism for weed, and now it's probably like, dude, getting hit so hard, dude. You know what I mean? Like, no one's going to Amsterdam anymore. You can just fucking go down the fucking street and go to the fucking. I'm gonna open up a dispensary and just call it fucking Amsterdam. Come to Amsterdam. I got your shit, dude. What the fuck?
I'll make you some wooden shoes for it. You know?
You already made me some wooden shoes. I just put the chopper head ones up. So many people comment on those things, but
dude, like I saw them on the raffle, like where you did like the raffle for the things. I was like, fuck yeah, they're the fucking chopper head wooden shoes.
I'm fucking
like,
representing Friesland.
So like we actually like where I'm from, it's like really common still to like wear wooden shoes. It's like obviously you don't wear them like directly around the city or anything like that, but it's like a lot of farmers, a lot of construction workers wear the fucking wooden shoes and all of that, you know?
Yeah.
As far as like Netherlands go, it's like I remember like to me, like growing up, right, and especially being like from 15 to 26, being like straight edge, like where I didn't care about the drugs and all of that, but it's like I never cared that like fucking weed was legal, that fucking mushrooms were legal, that like whatever, you know. It's like being like, I think you could get caught like with, if you as long as you had less than 5 ecstasy pills on you, it was like for like personal use.
They didn't fuck with you.
Fucking didn't fuck with you. You would go to a rave, which, in all honesty, I've only went to once, because, you know, like as how you guys had like the punks versus like the freaking like jocks and all of that. It was like in what I remember was a little bit more being like the techno fucking kids, you know, against the punk kids. Like that was just like a clash, right?
Yeah.
So it's like being like, fuck that, like, you know, like
but
you're a fucking
really
raver if you do fucking ecstasy bullshit, you know?
And I'm gonna get a lot of Jinko wearing jeans motherfuckers upset at me right now, but out here I don't remember there ever being any formidable rave kids. They were just kind of like the little kids.
Dude, the rave, like the Thunderdome, the ID&T and all of that, it was like fucking big. And the funny thing is, like, I remember when I went to like when I was in Amsterdam, and I was like for like a couple of days, I was with a friend of mine who's an actor, and Mats, if you're listening, I love you. Thank you for the experiences he gave me. But he brought me to like a rave, and to to finally experience actually being like seeing like kids on fucking ecstasy and all of that, right? And it's like was like really beautiful to see where you could buy ecstasy and actually go to a booth of the health department, give your ecstasy pill, have them test it for accurate for like safety
Making
and all
sure
of that.
there wasn't any weird
being
shit
like
in
there
it,
were
yeah.
like pamphlets out there if you wanted to about the danger, but they didn't press it on you. You would just give your fucking ecstasy pill. They would test it. They were like, hey, you're gonna be safe. If you have any questions, come back to us. You would fucking pop it and you would fucking have a great fucking time, right? Now I didn't like fucking take any of the drugs, but I seen all the people and I was like, damn, these motherfuckers are actually pretty fucking happy, you know? Those hardcore kids are all like fucking straight edge and pissed off and fucking high on fucking Coca-Cola. They're like, I'm straight edge, but I'm drinking a 2 liter of fucking Coca-Cola at night, you know?
All amped up on caffeine.
It was like pretty fucking amazing to see. But like, I remember even the first time that I took Tasha with me, and I still like would like to like remember like really what we took, but like, I took her to like the red light district and like the whole like just like downtown Amsterdam and the psychedelic shops and all of that kind of thing. And you could buy your psychedelics, you could buy your weed and all of that. And I remember that there was like a fucking glass plate with like a fucking mountain of fucking what it looked like cocaine, but it wasn't cocaine. It was just like some kind of natural kind of like supplement, right? They had like
glutamine,
whatever the fuck it was, dextro energy or whatever, right? Like, but like they had like a cup with cut up like kind of like straws, like right there. And the guy was like, "Oh, this is like some kind of new thing. It gives you some energy and it gives you like some kind of like blah blah blah. Just try it out, you know." And you would just like cut yourself a line and fucking just take a disposable thing, and you would just like fucking sniff a line and being like, fuck. And Tasha was like, what the fuck? You know, this is like crazy. And I was coming from like being like straight edge to like, you know, starting to experience like a little bit of like these things. And I was like, this is fucking kind of fucking pretty insane that this is like even like possible.
Yeah.
To whereas now I feel that like the United States is really taking a good stance on like the whole microdosing with like THC or with like mushrooms, right?
Yeah.
With like fucking legalizing weed, with kratom still being like available and all of that. And it's being like, yo, fuck the pharmaceutical fucking industry.
Yeah.
There's like fucking natural product like mushrooms fucking like widely available that can actually kill motherfucking depression, you know?
Yeah,
Like it's like
crazy, man.
Like, isn't that what we fucking need, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. But you know, we're gonna do another round.
It's been like 20 minutes, right? All right, Blue Chair Bay,
Oh, boy.
pineapple rum. Oh,
I got the
motherfucker.
Rumplemans. Oh, we just knocked over all the fucking nips. The empty nips.
Let's fucking try this. Banana rum cream I got. Fucking drinking a banana.
All right. I got Rumplemans.
This is a cheers.
Yeah,
Is
cheers.
it better than eating a banana, right? Isn't that
Yes.
like a thing, like a phallic, is that what you call it? A phallic like thing to eat, you know?
Eat a
Can't do
banana
it.
when you put spicy hot balls in your mouth.
Oh, God.
Ugh.
This is disgusting.
Well, man,
That is so fucking sugary.
anything else? What do you got planned? You know, you've had like a year of building up your studio and building up Tattoo Flash Collective Europe and keeping the American one going. What's the plans for coming up?
I don't think I have anything like major in the books as far as like new project. It's like more like working on like. Well, that's not true. I do have like some ideas.
You can't put new shit in. You're already booked up through August, dude.
Well, that's true. It's like being like, yo, I'm very lucky on that. But like one of the things that like me and my business
And let the record
partner,
show
like,
that
think-
it's February 28th and he's booked up through August. So just so for context.
I'm popular.
No, just for
boys,
context, you know.
yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you come on this podcast, man. You get fucking booked
I
the
get
fuck
like
out.
fucking big, you know. Like, if you're a tattooer and you want to be busier, just like get like hit up Truth, you know, get on the podcast. He fucking makes you popular
You know
in
what's weird,
India and all of that shit. You know,
I've been wanting to get more tattoo artists on. I just haven't really Dan doesn't want to do it. He's like, oh, no.
He should, man. Like Dan
I
is like
know.
one of like, I love Dan's style, right? It's like so far away from like what I am doing, but it's like being like, dude, like the way that like he does his tattoos, the way that he does designs on like, I would love to pick his brain on like even.
Well, you
like,
should come
just,
down.
like,
Yeah,
things. It's like amazing.
He loves to talk shop, but I don't. I think he's a little shy coming on the thing. So I need people that are like, I got Big Steve coming on at Fun City in New York.
Yep.
But yeah, and I've talked to a couple other people that we just gotta work
like,
out.
Who is that? Who's that? Is he from like Arizona or like Texas? A tattooer. Like I think he's an HF like tattooer. Big. Is it? No, not. Now I'm mistaken. Big Steve.
There's like pretty much every dude in Arizona is almost a tattooer.
A tattooer. I actually I actually pierced in Arizona. Did you know that? In Tucson. So the first time that I came to the United States was for a convention in Las Vegas. And I met like Tina, who was working for Johnny Ray at, I forgot the name. It was in Tucson. It was at 4th Street. That's like a big street in Tucson, Arizona. And then Speedway.
Speedway, yeah.
Yeah.
Fort Lowell?
Like,
Fort Lowell?
No, it was like 4th Street. And
Fourth.
it was like fucking.
I thought you were saying Fort. That's why. This Fort Lowell is a big street, and Speedway is a big street.
Okay.
But yeah, Speedway, I get
the
it.
number
I get it.
4.
Yeah, I get it. All right.
But anyway, he had like a shop there. And like the first time that I moved, like that I came to the United States for the first 3 months, right? It was like to Tucson, Arizona. And that was such a big fucking shock.
Oh, yeah.
Like a culture shock going from
dude.
fucking like the town of 3,000 people that I'm fucking living in to Tucson, Arizona. And that is actually the only time that I told you before, I never fucking shot a gun. Actually, when I was in Tucson, Arizona, one of the tattooers there took me to the desert and we shot a shotgun and I shot a fucking cactus.
Yeah.
And then he was like, you can't shoot a cactus. It's like actually against the law. I'm like, motherfucker, I can shoot a person, but I can't shoot a fucking cactus.
Pretty much, man. Yeah.
Being like,
The swallows are protected out there, yeah, for sure.
dude, it was like crazy. It was like such a culture shock. And that's how I like went from like Tucson, Arizona. I went to like San Diego and then to Denver.
Yeah.
And that's how I like flipped around a little bit and then
around.
moved to like San Diego, then Los
Yeah,
Angeles, and then
yeah.
Boston, right? But Tucson, Arizona was like really like a big culture shock. I would love to see that. Like
It was for me,
we're
too.
gonna go in November,
Yeah.
and it's like being like I would love to see Tucson, Arizona again.
Yeah, well, I feel like California's invading and fucking it up. But yeah.
Yeah, but like Dan, I think that Dan would be like really awesome to like listen to because it's like being like he's a fucking for what he does. Like it's fucking like the tattoo style that he does. He's fucking awesome,
And he's been
It's, like,
professionally
fucking
tattooing
super
since he
fucking
was
cool,
16, dude.
Like,
Since he was 16, he's been professionally tattooing in shops. You know what I mean? Like,
that's like fucking crazy.
it's a
You
cool
have,
story,
like,
but
fucking,
I know. We'll try and I'll try and strong arm him a little bit, but
I feel him though because like I have a lot of times too. It's like being like I get asked for certain projects in tattooing, and it's like I feel like I'm like being like, yo, it's like just like there's other people you should ask for this project instead.
yeah,
of
no.
me, you know? It's
I
like
just
being like, I'm
Dan's
kinda like,
Dan's kind of a
you know,
low key dude, so I'm not gonna pressure him. It was just like today, like I had to do that shit for Lenny before we did this. I was like, I don't fucking do this. You know?
You're like, why me? Like, ask
Yeah,
somebody else, dude.
Yeah,
like,
no. But it's for a bro. Of course, I'm going to help him out. But I was like, but you just fucking do it, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You fucking grow.
Yeah.
Now I can say I'm a professional voiceover actor for something or whatever. You know, whatever.
Professional fucking laser removal,
yeah.
professional chopper builder, professional voiceover actor, professional podcast.
Anthropologist.
Whatever. Oh shit!
The fuck you need, dude?
forgot
I'll
you
fucking
did,
hook you up.
anthropology.
Yeah. Nah, I'm just kidding. But fuck yeah, dude. Well, fuck. I mean, we're going.
Are we really 2 hours again?
2 hours and 20.
Well, we
18
said we
minutes.
weren't going to go 3 hours, so
Yeah.
like we're going to cut it short this time.
Yeah. Well, fuck yeah. Well, why don't you give out? Well, this is a good conversation, bro. But why don't you give out some social media and website links for your shop and for Tattoo Flash Collective and all that
So
shit.
again, everything tattoo related you can find under Black Stallion Tattoo. Instagram is Black Stallion Tattoo. Website is blackstalliontattoo.com. Tattoo Flash Collective is my side project for like all the Tattoo Flash related stuff. Tattoo Flash Collective on Instagram, Tattoo Flash Collective Europe, which we just started.
If you're in Europe,
tattooflashcollective.com is the website. I am very easy to be contacted. I don't care who the fuck you are, you know, like if you have any questions, just contact me. I'll try to get back to you in a normal or fast matter.
And if you know, I know we didn't really explain this, but if you own a tattoo shop or you're a tattoo artist, you want to check out Tattoo Flash Collective because it's basically a curated fucking consortium of flash that, you know, Johannes has took in to sell to different shops and tattoo artists or just people that collect tattoo flash. So it's all good quality shit. It's all rad shit. It's
like a ton of prints. It's like being like, if you're not a tattooer, if you're just a tattoo collector and you want to have like some cool tattoo art on the fucking wall, you're supporting all the artists. The artists are getting paid out like a very decent amount, you know, for each of their thing, because that's like the strength of Tattoo Flash Collective. It's like I might be the guy that like runs the website and all of that, but it's the artists that really do it. Really check it out. We have over 2,000 pages of flash. We have like 500 different prints. We have digital books. We have printed books. Anything just like really like handmade by tattooers from all over the globe. It's a fun little project. If you want to be involved, contact us too. You know, we'll give you all honesty. If you're like not easy on rejections, do not contact us because we do not add everything to it. It's not a personal thing, but we try to keep it fun. You know, we try to just like kind of like really promote the artists out there and get their stuff out. So it's something fun. Something that you should check out. See if you like it. If you have any comments, let me know. Instagram, social media, fucking websites, whatever the fuck you want to contact me, you know?
Yeah, if you got hemorrhoid cream suggestions or spicy hot balls, hit him up. He's always down.
Try the fucking preparation H fucking wipes in the fucking freezer. Put it on there.
Wait, but why is it going to be in the freezer?
Because it's nice and cold.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of a cucumber, you know? You don't put a cucumber in the fucking like microwave and then put it on your eyes.
Imagine you laying back with a face mask and preparation H fucking wipes on your fucking eyes.
It is like fucking kind of like being like, yo, it's kind of like getting like this like nice little face mask and put it on your face. It's like a lot nicer than it's cold than it's like fucking hot, you know? It's like fucking, it's awesome. Makes your eyes good. Makes your fucking partners be all like fucking, ooh, yeah, check. You don't have bags under your eyes.
Yeah,
you know?
man.
Your balls are all that wrinkly and all
Smell that. Smell that preparation H. And I think that's the lesson we need for 50 episodes deep, right? That's where we're going to leave it. Thank you.